Hey everyone, how's it going? Hello, 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 and hi, and welcome to the stream. Oh my goodness, hi, welcome to Extra Princes, Nico, Earseller, Leofi TV, and Candice Wright. Hello, 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 and welcome to Pillbug Hug Artist Synth Glaucus92, France in your pants. What a great username. Hello and welcome to Lorcan Nagel. Hey Lorcan, always lovely to have you here. And Foxquirk and Blake Elrons. Blake Elrons? Okay. Malinoray and Genderless Biped and Fanboy is Transboy18 and to Matt J. Crowley. Hello, hello, and welcome to the stream. And hello, Widow of Oz and Maddie-O and Disco Sophia and Wendy Pixel Curatrix and Liznine and Violeted97 and hello to Nazo Homo Lily and Pop Tetris and Small Cute Frog. I love that username. And Verve and Bump Facino. Hello and welcome to the stream. And Nixit. And I think that's Diceike. Hello, welcome. And Nixian Gaming. Hello, welcome to the stream. Yes, I did all of them. I did it. I finally got through everyone. Oh, right. Hello. Also, welcome to Pirate Cow, since you've just appeared. Some Dutch slop, says Glaucus. Some Dutch slop for all of you. The leader of our Socialist Party recently did an op-ed in our version of the Mail, talking about how we need to pull the emergency brake on immigration. Yeah, Holland. Incredible brain in the political mainstream in Holland. And it's for a second I got my wires crossed and I was going to talk about Denmark, who've had some truly horrible shit that's threatening to forcibly re-educate on Western culture. I think especially Arabic immigrants. It's really, really horrible. Right. Where was my brain? Gosh. Okay. So a few things. Points of order. Little housekeeping. Right. Number one. I'm aware I have not streamed in a little while. I've been working my ass off to finish The World Is Not Ending. It is finished. It is premiering tomorrow. If people have seen it and want to chat with me about it just now, that is welcome during this stream. Because I am so tired. Point two. Bump Facino, thank you so much for donating £4.20. Nothing like getting slippity sloppy with the cyber comrades while procrastinating at work. Hell yeah, that's right. Boss makes $1, you make a dime. Let's get that liberal slop yum. Point two, because I've been working so hard and I've only just finished, I'm kind of saving my energy on the stream. This particular one, it's been a late start. We're going to hang out a little bit. I've got a couple of articles. I've got a video I want to watch. It's not all down the line, your regular liberal slop, analysis, post-capitalist desire, Sie wissen das nicht, and so on. All of this, it will come on later streams this month. I'm going to be streaming at least once a week this month. I've definitely got big plans. There's a part in The World Is Not Ending where I say I could write a whole essay about this topic, and I'm planning to just do a stream where I talk you through what that essay would be about, because I'm not sure I do want to write it, but I am keen to tell you. What else? There's a Pinko stream booked this month. I am doing this today, Red Planet on Sunday, a watch party of the new video with Mule on Mule stream on Monday. So I've got lots of streaming lined up, and a lot of it is going to be higher energy than this one. This stream is just a gentle little reintroduction into streaming. If you enjoy the stream being a chill and cool vibe, then please consider paying for the chill and cool vibe stream. You can subscribe or cheer or donate directly using command tip. So, with that all said, should I launch into the first thing? I'm probably going to play some Zelda for a bit. I got given as a reward by a patron for completing my video. Someone bought me a little present. They bought me Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So I have... What time is the Mule stream on Monday? I don't know, but it'll be evening time UK. Late afternoon, evening time. We haven't planned the exact time yet. The video is obviously 2.5 hours, so with stopping and talking about it, it's going to be a few. Yeah, I'm gonna play some Zelda. Probably in between articles and maybe like for a bit after I finished. This again is where I encourage people to chat to me about whatever you want because I'm gonna be around, just hanging out, chilling, while you give me your money. Okay. We all know by now that the New Statesman is determined to suck Keir Starmer's toes at every possible turn. We're all aware, these are known quantities, like how apparently you can smoke lavender. This is a known quantity. I said this to a friend today. She was like, yeah, didn't you know that? I'm like, fucking fine. I guess it's just common knowledge. We all know that the New Statesman is the biggest kid starver, queer homer, Sir Keith Stronger together fan club. So I figured we'd just start with a classic, and this is maybe a little bit of a lead on from our last time, our Sir Kid Starver special. How posh is Keir Starmer? British voters don't know. This should be some fun, eh? It's always fun to dissect the British class system with its naked and utterly hideous class warfare, with its nakedly corrupt and also utterly hideous politicians. So we've got to decide for ourselves now. How posh is Sir Kid Starver, everyone? The subtitle here says, a quarter of the public think the Labour leader was privately educated, and some think he inherited his knighthood. Well, let me tell you, he's actually a self-made knight. That's not posh at all. If you're knighted yourself for being for services to the realm. All right. Can people in chat give me your 1 to 10s? 1 being a stereotype of an East London geezer on EastEnders, and 10 being literally Jacob Rees-Mogg. How posh do you all think Sir Kid Starver is? Loken says 5 billion, which I think is maybe. Listen. Jacob Rees-Mogg is number 10, is 10, right? Okay, but some more serious answers. We've got some 7s, 8s, 9s, 9.5, 7. Okay, all right. We got lots of varied opinion. Like a 5, but he wants to pretend he's a 10 in more ways than one, babe. 9.7. Okay, generally in the upper end. So let's find out together. Let's go on this journey of finding out truly how posh Sir Kid Starver is. Oh, shit, we've already been devastated. Look how normal he looks in this picture. Look at yet another normal picture of Sir Kid Starver. Fucking hell. God, he's just such a rugged working man. He's finally switched colors, I see. He's finally just literally given up on wearing a red tie. Where is he? What is this? Fuck. What is this place? Do we have a... No, it's just Getty It's just Getty Images. It's not even... They didn't go and interview him. They write far too many articles praising Keir Starmer for them to send a photographer to interview him at any given time. All right. Keir Starmer has been telling voters for years that his dad was a toolmaker. Well, now he brings it up so often it has become a joke among the political press pack. When that happens, it usually means the public has picked it up too. We used to groan at the endless mentions of long-term economic plan by David Cameron and George Osborne, for example, before it gave them an unexpected majority in 2015. Yet it doesn't look like Starmer's factory worker father, or that he grew up in a Pebble Dash semi, or that his family struggled to keep the bills paid, have made their way into the public consciousness. Oh, how sad. Most Brits, 42%, don't know what type of school the Labour leader went to, compared with nearly a quarter, 23%, who say he went to a private school, according to the exclusive polling for the New Statesman by Redfield and Wilton Strategies. Good lord. Good fucking lord. Should journalists have access to this? Is this a normal thing for a journalist to be using Redfield and Wilton Strategies exclusive polling? Fuck. All right. A quarter correctly say he went to grammar school, while just 9% say he was educated at a comprehensive school. Right. So again, very few. Like, a quarter correctly say he went to a grammar school. Hey, gorgeous. Reigate Grammar School, which Summer attended, turned independent during his time there, but pupils already present like him were allowed to carry on for free with their fees paid by the council. We ran this, so it was posh enough to change to having fees while he was there.
So he went to a posh.
So he went to So he went to a private school. He just got in for free, kind of by accident, is what you're telling me. You like.
Sounds pretty posh to me.
Knowing that a common phrase in the British like socially aspirant upper middle class is, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Knowing that this is like a very normal way for people to talk about class in the UK, and knowing that Starmer did in fact go to a private school, you're coming into this article with a straight face being like, they all think he went to a private school. Isn't that crazy? They all think he's really posh. But the data, like, we, the Keir Starmer fan club, did private polling with Redfield and Wilton Strategies. Because we're just normal men. We're just normal, innocent men. We're just normal working class men, and we've simply phoned up our normal working class friends over at Redfield and Wilgate Strategies to do some polling about how many people think that sorry everyone, Sir Keir Starmer is posh, and apparently way more people think he's posh for some reason. That's crazy. We ran this poll after a swing voter claimed Starmer went to Eton in a focus group by JL Partners, aired on Times Radio's Red Box Politics podcast at the end of July. Well, that's an interesting one, isn't it, right? A swing voter claimed Starmer went to Eton. Probably because we practically never have prime ministers who didn't go to Eton and specifically were in the Bullingdon Boys Club. Like, it's probably a feature of him being posh enough that he has been allowed past every check by the Tory establishment to come in and save them from their own fucking chaos. That people are like, yeah, he's probably posh enough to be prime minister. In other words, he probably went to fucking Eton, right? And it's like, it just, with everything else about Keir Starmer, it's just not that unreasonable an assumption, is it? Glaucus is saying Kid Starmer does look like he went to Eton. Yeah, I mean, let's just rewind a second here. Let's just go. Oh, I already have it open. The fucking nah. We all got it wrong. He's an ordinary man. He's simply an ordinary man. Simply ordinary.
Looks pretty ordinary to me.
Just a normal man. Just an innocent man. Look at him.
He's literally wearing a blue
He's probably. That's what I said. He's looking over in this direction. He's thinking about factories. He's thinking about the proletariat. He's thinking about Uber drivers. He's thinking, I hope that Deliveroo rider who my chauffeur drove over doesn't successfully sue me. Remember when his chauffeur drove over a Deliveroo rider? Do we remember that? Is that a thing that we remember, or is it just like fallen out of our brains? Is it just gone?
That's deep lore. But true, this is not a Pete Buttigieg murdering dogs thing, although he clearly
and also Starmer definitely does, and also Wes Streeting does for fun, yes.
Right, this is an actual categorical stated fact.
Yep. The British public generally seems unsure about whether Starmer is posh. When we... Sorry, I just remembered the entire premise of this article.
Yeah.
Fuck, how exhausting. What an incredible task I've set for myself. Oh god. When we asked how he acquired the title Sir, 40% didn't know. This is I'm not reading this with the right level of like pearl clutching and like white knuckling like fury. Actually, I've just realized, right, the entire article is actually the entire article is actually a quarter of the public think the labor leader was privately educated, and some think he inherited his knighthood. No! He's just a normal man! He's normal! When we asked how he acquired this title, Sir, 40% didn't know! Why the fuck should they? Like, I know. I fucking know. It was for that job he did. You know, the one where he deported a teenager for stealing an ice cream? What am I reading? I'm reading the New Statesman, How Posh is Keir Starmer? British Voters Don't Know by Anoush Shakilian. And it's bad. It's some liberal slop. That's what we're doing today. He's just a normal top cop who was knighted for being a pig. Thank you. Yes, exactly. Also, great name, Lego 2x4. Great username. Did he really deport someone for stealing an ice cream? Yeah. Did he do interviews where he boasted about having ruined teenagers' lives for fucking weed possession? Yeah, he's done all those things because he's just a normal man. Just a normal man. Just the normalest of all the men. Look at him. Who could possibly think he's posh? Who could ever possibly think it? I've actually just realized I could just go back to this. I could actually just go back to the intermission screen while I'm talking about this. Just a normal man. Just an entirely normal man. Fuck. Okay. Followed by 39% who correctly said he was awarded the title for his work. I mean, 39% knowing that he did that is better than with the school, right? Like, it was a quarter who were correct that he went to grammar school. That's not even... But to be fair, that's not something that he's talked endlessly about in interviews, is it? Right, and then they clarified, just in case we needed to know. He was knighted in 2014 for serving as head of the Crown Prosecution Service and Director of Public Prosecutions. Yeah, for being top cop. Shit sucks. This is the leader of the Labour Party. You can't be fucking serious. Significantly, 15% believed he inherited his title, and 6% that he married into it. Luke Trill, director of More in Common, which runs focus groups, revealed to the Eye in April that he's noticed people assuming Starmer is an aristocrat with a hereditary title. You get comments like, oh, yeah, but he's part of the aristocracy. What does he know? Tony Benn gave up his, didn't he? Why doesn't Keir do the same? And of course, Ben had a hereditary title, and of course, Ben had a hereditary title and had to give it up to be an MP. It suddenly clicked to me that all these people think it's a title he was born with, and it's acting as a drag. Kira, thank you so much for rating with 114 people. Oh, I forgot to put the article on stream. Well, it's kind of lucky I was on screen now. Anyway, hello! Welcome everyone from Kira's stream. I'm Sophie. I do Red Planet every Sunday, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. GMT or London time or whatever, with Kira. Right now I'm doing my liberal slop stream. We are reading, what's it called? How Posh is Keir Starmer? British Voters Don't Know. But today's liberal slop stream is going to be a bit more chill than usual, because as I was just saying to everyone at the start of the stream, I just finished working on The World Is Not Ending, my 2 hours 20 long video that's going to be coming out tomorrow. So I'm really fucking tired, actually. So I'm mostly hoping to just kind of chill. I am reading this Keir Starmer article. I am reading an article from The Atlantic called Welcome to the Age of Foom Scrolling. And then I'm watching, I might as well tell you now. Then I'm watching an interview with RFK and Jimmy Dore.
Oh, God.
And in between all of this, I'm just going to play some Zelda and chill out. So if you're enjoying the stream, please consider paying for the stream. You can subscribe or cheer or donate directly using command TIP. I'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the article. Now that I remembered, I have to actually put the article on screen. Oh, it should be the same. Like, sorry, I don't think I can deal with that right this second. By contrast, those surveyed seemed more sure of Rishi Sunak's privilege. Okay. So everyone thinks that the two people competing to be in charge of the country are both really posh. That's fucking depressing, isn't it? It's almost like they give off every conceivable manner of being really posh, and both of them are at least quite posh. The largest proportion of respondents, 37%, correctly identified that he went to an independent public school. Hang on a second. An independent public school. You mean a private school, right? But it's interesting. We also used the phrase independent for the school that Starmer went to. So, I guess they both went to the independent school. Though 35% didn't know. 18% thought he went to a grammar school, and 9%, the same percentage as with Starmer, believed he attended a comprehensive. In reality, Sunak went to Winchester College, one of England's most prestigious... one of England's most prestigious... Why can't I do this word? Prestigious public boarding schools. Oh, that's why I was merging prestigious and public. Most voters also understood how Sunak acquired his great wealth. He and his wife have a combined fortune of around £529 million. Oh, God. 42% said that he married into his wealth, which is largely true, as his wife's stake in her father's tech multinational Infosys put her net worth in the hundreds of millions. 29% he say he inherited his wealth, and 26% don't know where his money comes from. That leaves 12% who believed he earned his fortune through work. Voters do not necessarily punish wealth. It represents both aspiration and security for your family and future, but narratives of meritocracy are very firmly entrenched in the British psyche, so it may dent both leaders' reputations if people assume they did not come by their money or titles through hard work. Oh, god damn. Oh my goodness. I'm being Redfield and Wilton Strategies polled right now. I'm being red polled. Right now. Whoa. A weighted sample of 1,500 eligible voters in Great Britain on 2nd of August 2023 for the New Statesman. Thinking generally about what you know of smart meters, how much or little do you think owning a smart meter would help you to reduce your energy consumption? Fuck off. Fuck off. I don't like being red polled. I assume this is just... No, hang on. Is there any way we can know more about this? I really want to know if this is if this is from the same polling company. Ugh. Anyway. Narratives of meritocracy are very firmly entrenched in the British psyche, so it may dent both leaders' reputations if people assume they did not come by their money or titles through hard work. Well, this is just frustrating, right? Because the idea of coming to titles or money through hard work is itself a fucking nonsense, and so we can't... We can look at the thing that we suppose gives British people the supposed virtue of believing in hard work and believing in earning what you deserve, believing in meritocracy, right? We can give them the supposed virtue of falling for this utter gibberish, right? But we can't actually look at the lie. We can't possibly look at that. One does not earn wealth. Yes, exactly. It's really frustrating. All right. Are we gonna go to Foom scrolling? Yeah, let's go to Foom scrolling now. I can do Zelda while we watch the video. Welcome to the age of Foom scrolling. I was obviously drawn in by this title because I just finished a project about Doomerism. So I was like, Foom, is this some kind of portmanteau of something and doom? Are we moving on from doom scrolling to Foom scrolling? It's fun doom scrolling. No. It's altogether more wanky and annoying because, as we learned a couple of streams ago, The Atlantic is just obsessed with bolstering AI as an investment opportunity for the people who could make money off AI. Okay, We'll get into it in a second. Let me just remind you, if you're enjoying the stream, please consider paying for the stream. You can subscribe or share or donate directly using command TIP. I'd really appreciate that. I am trying to earn money to live. If you look at the bar on the screen, it says more Pinko next month. That's because there's finally going to be a Pinko stream this month. Pinko had the clown flu. It was very sad. You would hear a very loud honk, and a napkin would come out of her nose. And you know, it's never just the one. So like, it was tragic. But she's better now. There's going to be a stream this month. It's booked in. Right. Where was I? Yes, if we hit the goal. Sorry, everyone. You can really tell I'm quite tired. Like I said, worked very hard on the video. Still slowly returning to work stuff now. I'm really trying to keep this one a chill one. Foom scrolling. Let's go. No, I still didn't say it. If we hit the goal, there will be an extra Pinko stream in the future. Even though the one that I've arranged this month is one that's owed from like 2 months ago because I got so caught up in working on The World Is Not Ending. Okay. Welcome to the age of Foom scrolling. The online frenzies that followed LK99, that's the room temperature superconductor that wasn't, and ChatGPT, that's the AI that isn't, reveal a resurgent techno-optimism and a shared longing for a new technology that will free us from human limits. Oh, God. Let's just have a quick... I always find it interesting to go have a look at what else the writer of these articles has written for the Atlantic. Oppenheimer's Cry of Despair? Does Sam Altman know what he's creating? Yep, more AI nonsense. Okay, never give artificial intelligence the nuclear codes. Awesome! Awesome! This is a fully sucked in rube. This is a guy who completely and utterly has bought into the ChatGPT has imposter syndrome. What happens when AI has read everything? Oh my god. Oh, fucking hell. The Panopticon is already here. I mean, yeah, I'd agree with that. That seems like a... Xi Jinping is using auto... Oh, fuck's sake. God fucking damn it. Okay. Okay. Alright, this should be incredible brain stuff. Cannot wait. Warning for non-subscribers, there will apparently be an ad break in about 4.5 minutes. Thank you, Loken, that's true. Streamlabs is telling me that as well. So, if you want to subscribe in the next 4.5 minutes, you'll get to skip it. Or, if anyone wants to gift subscriptions. Middle-earth Marxist says, love The World Is Not Ending, so good. Thank you so much. I was saying this earlier, but if anyone wants to, like, chat about it while I'm just, like, chilling playing Zelda, or at any point during this stream, feel free. Laz44, first time chat says, I just got here, but this Ross Anderson sounds like a right dweeb. Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting too. Anyway, yeah, thank you for that Middle-earth Marxist, and anyone who wants to chat about the video, I'm perfectly happy to. I'll also be doing a Q&A. Oh, that's what I meant to say. I'm doing this stream today. I'm doing a Q&A stream right after the premiere tomorrow. Also here, probably just for an hour or so because I have a birthday party to go to. And then I'm doing Red Planet on Sunday, and then the Mule stream on Monday. So, like, I really am just streaming my hiney off this weekend. Okay, let's read the Foom scrolling thing finally. I remember the first time I saw The Floaty Rock. It was the middle of the night, and I was facing the insomniac's dilemma, to reach for the phone or not. Now, by The Floaty Rock, now, I really, okay, we gotta take a digression. It's always a good liberal slop article when I've got to take a fucking digression immediately. Wait, there's a new vid? Yes, it's a video I've been working on for 2 years, and I knew that YouTube would not show it to everyone, but that's cool. That's cool that YouTube doesn't show stuff to people because I haven't released stuff in a couple of months because I was finishing a really big project that's very important to me. That's really cool. Okay, oh my goodness. The Floaty Rock. Right. The Floaty Rock is LK99. a superconductor that science journalists and tech reporters who know nothing about science and tech respectively were going absolutely crazy over, because the possibility that it could be a room temperature semiconductor is a very amazing possibility if it were true, because it would mean that you'd be able to skip all the fucking waste from electronics and energy transmission if it were true. It would single-handedly do so much for the climate crisis if we were able to replace all of our energy infrastructure with this semiconductor if it were true. And it would represent a bold leap forward for what computing is able to do in the future if it were true. So they were all going absolutely crazy over it. But, you know, even just kind of paying attention to, like, the shape of the discourse, you could tell what it would look like if that real thing had actually been discovered, and it wouldn't just be like tech bro hype, science and technology reporting hype. It would be like governments like, yo, we've got to have a summit about this. So you just get a bunch of people who apparently don't get that would be the case, stepping in and getting unbelievably hyped up about it, and then nothing, because it turns out it's not a room temperature semiconductor. Oh well. Okay. So I hope we're getting kind of a vibe of where this article is going, because that is kind of the point, right? I remember the first time I saw the floaty rock. Oh, there's gonna be an ad break in 15 seconds. R.I.P. It was the middle of the night, and I was facing the insomniac's dilemma: to reach for the phone or not. I reached and opened Twitter. This was 2 weeks ago. The new name hadn't yet sunk in. What do you mean hadn't yet sunk in? No one's calling it X. Fucking chill out. Like, sunk in? Are you making a deliberate reference to the let that sink in stunt? I'm so tired. On the theory that a scroll through my feed might achieve some hypnotic effect, creating an opening for sleep to take hold. That's when I saw the blurry video. Let's open the blurry video. Go on. Go on, show me. Show me. Whoa. 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 Wow, look at that. There it is. It's kind of floaty. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
In this groundbreaking study by Leah.
Oh my god, okay. I'm not listening to that. Okay. In it, a scrap of material, small and misshapen like a pencil's broken lead tip, hovers mystically above a thick wafer of polished metal. I see what kind of writer Ross Anderson is. I see you now, Ross. I get the deal here. It's all dramatic and flowery prose, leading us through the journey of him looking at his phone. I scrolled right by, despite following a fair number of neat science thing aggregators. In the wee hours, I did not always thrill to edification. But a few minutes later, I saw the video again, then a third time. I registered that this was not some didactic explanation of magnetism. This was news. The floaty rock was LK99, a substance synthesized by a team of South Korean scientists who believe it to be a room temperature ambient pressure superconductor. I don't know if maybe at time of writing they did. It's just like, okay, to divert at this point, it's just like to talk about like the academic process and then the point at which it like matters to any of us. And if you're a journalist, if you're a certain type of journalist with a certain set of incentives around you in the system of your job and how you do it, then it's not enough to simply find the next big thing that's now happening, right? You have to go look at like potential discoveries that could be happening that are still being peer reviewed and tested in the lab and say, wow, this could be huge for everyone if it were true. And that's just, yeah, that's okay, yeah, like that's kind of the vibe. That's what I'm trying to get at. This is just like it's the same point I'm trying to get at with AI. Like the whole hype is so far ahead of itself, and with AI there are more sinister reasons. But yeah, we'll read some more of Foom scrolling now. I'd like to report that the words room temperature ambient pressure superconductor were meaningful to me that night, but no. Ross, you're really, you really didn't study electronic and electrical engineering, and it shows. I puzzled over this phrase like an ape taking stock of a monolith. Oh my god. Honestly, sometimes these writers, like, they try harder, and I wish they wouldn't because it causes me some quite severe pain. This is... No. I looked for contextual clues. I counted exclamation points. After a few minutes of internal... Do you really have... It's just the worst possible way of writing it. It's just like... Whatever, I'm sorry. I'm not going to go on. I'm sure there are plenty of people who enjoy this style. After a few minutes of internal resistance, I did some due diligence, by which I mean light and bleary-eyed Googling. Eventually, through some effort, I came to understand that LK99 was potentially a holy grail finding for materials scientists. But not only materials scientists. This was not like observation of the phosphine in Venus's atmosphere in 2020. Had that discovery held up, alas it did not. Fuck. What an incredible comparison for you to make then, isn't it? It would have strongly suggested the presence of life on that planet, an epochal finding, but not one that would transform our world. The existence of a room temperature superconductor would not simply be a nice new fact about nature. Rather, according to some observers, it would mean we have access to a magical, all-purpose substance that can deliver us into a new technological age, where electricity flows through our world without friction. More computers are quantum, and trains too are floaty. Wow, that would be amazing if it were true. Given LK99's alleged import, a global race to reproduce South Korean findings was already underway, with much of the internet watching excitedly. The specter of China getting there first added a layer of geopolitical intrigue. God, it's all sequels and remakes these days. Like, you just can't get a single original story written. Fucking hell. They just have to reenact the same shit they've already done over and over again. Whoa, what if China gets there first? Oh no! Oh, God. I like to imagine America's material scientists huddled together, bracing for their Sputnik moment. Jesus Christ. Meanwhile, the South Korean scientists were reportedly feuding among themselves, and everyone could follow along on social media, marveling at each levitating rock, the way that Twitch viewers marvel at a gamer's latest kill shot. Bang. If nothing else, it's a great way to pass time until a gleaming techno-utopia materializes around us. Wow, are you in kindergarten? Ross, I'm asking you very seriously right now. I think it's really bold of The Atlantic to hire article writers who are literally toddlers, but wow, Ross. Wow. What I'm describing is, to be clear, the vibe surrounding LK99 as I've experienced it. Its closest analog may be the frenzy that accompanied ChatGPT's release last November. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty close analog, actually, Ross. Fuck, okay. Perhaps you remember, late pandemic malaise was wearing off. Was it? Are you sure, Ross? Are you sure? Okay. People were ready for shiny new things, and then suddenly those things appeared in the form of bots that could chat, code, and maybe even break up your marriage. Social media feeds filled up with screenshots of their cleverest and most devious exploits. Oh no. In the months after ChatGPT's release, some came to believe that a Foom was taking place. What is the link for Foom here? Oh, it's Wiktionary. Imitative. Compare boom. Interjection. Foom. The sound of a muffled explosion. Noun. Foom. A sudden increase in artificial intelligence such that an AI system becomes extremely powerful. Okay, well that didn't happen then. Good. Fine. Thanks, Ross. Some came to believe that a foom was taking place. In the AI literature, a foom occurs when an AI's cascading self-improvements accelerate its own development until it becomes powerful beyond human comprehension. Hang on a second. Some believed a foom was taking place? That's like saying some believed an apocalypse was taking place. Like, fuck you. Sorry, I'm really... Oh, this guy's getting on my nerves. Okay. I'm trying not to let the slop under my skin. I'm trying not to be like, but I am, but I'm trying. Come on, points for effort, maybe? If you're enjoying the stream, please consider paying for the stream. I'm suffering right now, and that's my job, apparently. And it's nice when I get paid for my job, especially when my job is just to suffer. Oh my god. The term is meant to evoke the sound of an explosive eruption. Thanks, Ross. Thanks, Ross. The neat thing about this particular supposed foom, it was being experienced in real time, at least by those who were sufficiently online. Fuck. Technology was about to deliver us from suffering and scarcity, we were told, and you could see it all on Twitter. Fucking hell. During the Trump presidency, the word doom scrolling was coined to describe the habit of mainlining bad news through your smartphone. This was different. It had a positive valence. Call it foom scrolling. Ooh! Okay, so doom scrolling hasn't ended, has it? Has it, chat? Chat, can we just take a moment to appreciate here how extremely much doom scrolling hasn't ended? How it's not just a symptom of the Trump presidency. It's not just a thing that people were doing when Trump was president. Gee, it was so bad when Trump was president because he's so embarrassing. He's just like a big dumb Cheeto, It's like there's a Cheeto in the White House. Jeez, everyone, we have to do an epic vote and get to the ballots as hard as we can to get rid of the Cheeto from the White. Oh, thank God, Biden's in now, and Mr. Crime McCheeto, haha, got him, Trump owned. He's gone now, so I can get to my foom scrolling. Fucking hell. Not every emerging technology will lead to foom scrolling. Oh my God. Well, thank goodness for that, otherwise we'd be completely overcome by foom scrolling. When its extraordinary powers can be demonstrated in something immediately recognizable visual form, two-tone chat screenshots say, or floaty rocks, the behavior is more... Yeah, because the fucking floaty rock is such a powerful visual. Jesus. When its extraordinary powers can be demonstrated, right, the behavior is more likely to occur. More important, to be eligible for foom scrolling, an emerging technology needs to be the kind of thing that could plausibly level up the species. Okay, so what you've described here is a word, foom scrolling, where you're looking at social media and an important thing is happening in the realms of science and technology that's going to level up the species. So level up the species. Oh, that's just a sequence of words that just feel bad, just like falling through my brain and out of my mouth. Just really just deeply unpleasant. Okay. So the word that you've invented here is for the phenomenon that I guess regularly occurs of people scrolling and seeing the same post over and over again because it's news about a technology that's just been discovered that's going to level up the... Oh. Nope, I'm not saying it again. So, so this word you use is useful for. Okay, it's useful for when the new technology could be a huge deal, but isn't necessarily going to be a huge deal. So by definition, most of the time that you're ever going to use the word, it's not going to be a huge deal. So most of the time that the word is to be used, it refers to you like a bunch of, I'm sorry to overuse this metaphor here, but like a bunch of kindergartners engaging in collective imaginative play, getting yourselves just like fucking wired because you had too much Ribena, right? And then like nothing comes of it and nothing goes anywhere, and then you all just have a big nap. Ross, thank you for inventing this word for us. We'll definitely need the word foom scrolling in future. So I guess everyone, welcome to the age of foom scrolling. We're all gonna be foom scrolling all the time now. I gotta get one of those like fucking the little beeping thing that Dennis Reynolds has for measuring my blood pressure. Honestly,
You gotta do some imaginative
like I just gotta do some imaginative exercises right now and lower my blood pressure because good lord, wow. I
do think that is perhaps one of the most insulting, contrived bunches of nonsense that I've ever heard.
Yeah, incredible comment here, and I wanna spend a moment on it because often I am very proud of the class. Okay, you know we're all aware that the format of liberal slop streams here, you know, is that it's not just me looking at liberal slop and suffering. I'm lecturing to you. We're exploring the stuff together. It's an interactive, you know, teacher-student, ongoing experiment here, and sometimes. Frequently even, I'm very proud of my students. So Bump Facino has said, literally foom scrolling refers to anything that gives you some dregs of hope that technological progress is still progressing at a pace where some magic tech will appear and save capitalism and the planet. Fucking yes. Thank you, Bump Facino. That is exactly what this is about. A wave of techno-optimism that is currently taking place among the capitalists is entirely oriented around creating an idea that we will either actually solve the real problems or create an escape from the real problems, right? So the superconductor thing fits perfectly in the like Venn diagram middle section, right? Because it would be a climate solution if it were real. It would be a climate solution, and also it would, as Ross is saying, the techno utopia would materialize around us. I'm calm. But you know, ChatGPT and the apparent emerging singularity of AI, this would be in the one camp and not the other at all, right? Entirely the idea that technology is going to be so powerful it will simply break our dependence on the ecology. So it doesn't matter that the ecology is fucked. It doesn't matter that capitalism is killing the planet. It doesn't matter that, you know, people with names and addresses are killing the planet. Because we'll just escape into the cloud somehow. And then there's like fucking seaweed that's gonna carbon capture or biochar or some shit in the other camp, right? It doesn't give us escape, but hey, maybe it's the miracle technology that's gonna solve climate change. The technology that's gonna solve climate change is called communism. Okay, let's get back to the article, shall we? Let's learn more about foom scrolling. Hey, if you're enjoying the stream, please consider donating to the stream. I need money to live. You'll get extra clown streams if you do. There's going to be one this month. It's called it's called Clown ASMR brackets Loud. It's going to be cool. Fucking Foom scrolling. More important, to be eligible for Foom scrolling, an emerging technology needs to be the kind of thing that could plausibly... I'm not saying these words again. The Apollo missions would have led to the Apollo missions would have led to endless Foom scrolling. Okay, but you just said... So you just said this was not like the observation of phosphine in Venus's atmosphere in 2020. Had that discovery held up, alas it did not, Lamau, it would have strongly suggested that the presence of life on the planet, an epochal finding, but not one that would transform our world, right? But not one that would transform our world. Now, the moon missions had all sorts of implications for the Cold War, for sure, but it didn't... This is the problem with the concept of I'm not saying those words again. This is the problem with the concept of the species taking a fucking... going to the next level. That's... It's just like... It just kind of means whatever you want it to mean, you know? It just kind of means whatever you want it to mean. Living in a solar system where there's other life, potentially intelligent life, is that another level? Who knows? Ross says no. Absolutely not, for some reason. Oh god, oh god, oh god. These liberals are never going to invent material analysis. Fucking hell. Okay, the Apollo missions would have led to endless Foom scrolling. Imagine 1 million... Wow, you really are genuinely so cucked that you just immediately have taken on reposts instead of retweets. Not only did you say that the new name of Twitter hadn't sunk in yet, you're really telling us that you've like just let Elon Musk tell you what the fucking site is called. Like, do you just not speak to any of your friends in real life? Like, you just internally accepted that it's called X and you're just like, yep, it's called X now. You see a friend in real life, they say Twitter, do you correct them, Ross? Fuck. Reposts of the Earthrise photo captioned, "We are so back." I think I'm gonna actually... I can't say those words on Twitch. GLP-1 receptor activating drugs like the one that's in Ozempic provide an instructive counterexample. Despite constituting a long-hoped-for miracle, a weight loss medicine that works, fuck you. They address only certain problems. No one is posting that these drugs will end up solving climate change. Ozempic won't prompt anyone to Foom scroll. Are those drugs going to end up solving climate? Okay. When I tell you all that tech reporters don't understand tech at all, can we just dissect what's going on in this paragraph a little bit? Can we just dissect the kinds and levels of understanding that Ross is conveying to the audience, okay? So, a weight loss medicine that works. No one is posting that these drugs will solve climate change. Why would they? A weight loss medicine that works won't solve climate change. It doesn't really have much to do with climate change, Ross. A superconductor has to do with how we transmit energy and what kinds of transport we can build. A superconductor necessarily has a lot to do with climate change. Even AI, someone could try and make the argument that, like, it will find new ways to... This would be nonsense, right? But they could try, right? But this sentence, no one is posting that these drugs will end up solving climate change. Why would they? Is it comparable in Ross's mind? Is it comparable in Ross's mind to claim that the floaty rock will solve climate change and to claim that the pill will solve climate change because he doesn't understand either to the same degree, and yet has written so many articles about AI. Are these comparable statements in Ross's mind because he has that little understanding of... oh boy. That little an understanding of science and technology, and yet he is writing constantly about AI. Wow. When I tell you these people have no understanding of technology, please believe me. Thank you so much to Kat for tipping £10. Clown Union dues, he honk. Interesting. Yeah, well, congratulations, you're in the Clown Union now. And also, Coreyverst for tipping £5 and saying, we be Foomin'. Oh. Someone needs to, you know the meme? You know the Doomer, the consumer, the Kuma? We need the Fuma. We really, really need the Fuma, you know? And it's entirely, it's entirely Ross Anderson article titles. As the statements around the Fuma. In the case of AI, Foom scrolling quickly curdled into something self-parodic. Okay, I think I'm starting to figure out what really bothers me just so much about the writing style, and it's that he's definitely gotten a degree in creative writing, and he's just never bothered to spend all that long thinking about anything, neither politics nor the tech questions that he is actually writing about. It's just about using terms like self-parodic. A cottage industry of AI influencers. They had paid-for blue checks and bios that carefully laundered their previous crypto enthusiasms. Initially, they were useful. The field was moving quickly, and it was nice to have some aggregators of industry news, however credulous. But they soon overwhelmed the discourse with claims that this week's list of mind-melting breakthroughs was even more extensive than the last. It all seemed a little sad, like LinkedIn. Wow. Got him, Ross. LinkedIn is so uncool. It's just like a bunch of professional managerial class fucking liberals, right, Ross? You know what I mean, buddy? You know what I mean, buddy? It's just a bunch of fucking LinkedIn. You know what okay, all right, fucking hell. Perhaps this is just the Foom scrolling cycle. In recent days, the LK99 fandom has been on the back foot. An aura of deflationary realism has begun to color the story. Deflationary realism.
FUD! Don't listen to the FUD!
Deflationary realism. And he's linked to a Bloomberg article about how the stocks the line go down because the science said it's not the way that they were saying it was. I'm mostly leaving doing serious analysis to other liberal slop streams, not this one, because this is just a chill one. But wow, there is just a lot going on here. Oh boy. Oh, Russ. Okay. Some commentators are claiming that LK99 is merely a ferromagnet, and scientists have got the word out that even if the substance is indeed a room temperature semiconductor, the path to future depicted in the "How Society Would Look" meme will be a long... you mean with the flying cars and the... Okay. Oh, God. Replication claims are no longer topping my For You feed. You're scrolling the... My guy... Rizless little fucking... Ross Why are you scrolling the For You feed? You can just scroll the followers feed, Ross. You can just see what the people who you actually follow are saying. You don't have to give your mind over to what Elon fucking Musk has decided is good for it. Jesus Christ. I think I've discovered I think I've made a huge breakthrough, everyone. This might be a Foom. This might level up the entire species. I've discovered a way for a person to have utterly negative Riz. We thought before you could only at worst have no Riz. It turns out Ross Anderson has invented a way of having actually negative Riz, and if someone with any charisma whatsoever, any charm or interest or intellectual curiosity comes into contact with him, theirs diminishes and his remains negative. Once we've figured out how he does this, we might be able to use this to solve climate change. Nuance and sobriety appear to be winning the day. Peak superconductor Foom scrolling may have already passed, but the cultural desire that fueled it, the hunger for a new tool that will lift us out of our human frailty and onto some smooth exponential trajectory to a shimmering and deathless future, that looks to be quite resilient. That collective longing may have been with us since Olduvai in one form or another. The internet only magnifies it into a kind of searchlight. I imagine that its beam will soon find something else to look onto, something new for the world's insomniacs to Google in the dead of night, in the hope that maybe, this time, the Foom will be real. Why would you post so publicly in the Atlantic, just being so pathetic? Hey everyone, I just need you all to know, my life is sad. I wake up in the middle of the night, I can't sleep, I'm horribly unfulfilled for some reason. I don't know what it is. There are so many things keeping me awake at night, being a middle-class writer for the Atlantic, who got a creative writing degree but never bothers to actually understand the subjects that I discuss. Anyway, I'm up in the middle of the night, and I just saw a Foom. It could be a real Foom. I'm scrolling right now. I'm learning about the Foom. Oh my god. It's gonna take us to a deathless future where human beings slip beyond the bounds of gravity and reach out to touch the face of God. Oh no, it's not real. Never mind. I'm just gonna keep on scrolling then. Oh my god. Could this be a real Foom? This time the species is going to Oh no, that one was also... Yeah, I'm not... Well, the solution could be that I could unfollow the people who are saying this, but I'm scrolling the For You feed, not the following feed, so I can't even unfollow those people. Oh my god, a real Foom! No, that one's been disproved too. Okay, well, I'm still not sleeping, and I don't know why, and my phone has just died now, so I'm just looking at the black mirror in my hand, just staring at myself. In the wee hours, just contemplating how, I'm not getting any fucking younger, and there are so many real problems I could actually, do something about if I weren't so wedded to my existence, as a comfortable liberal writer for the Atlantic. Gee, oh, well, maybe the next Foom will be real. Fucking hell. Okay. We are going to watch How RFK Jr. Beat Addiction with Carl Jung by The Jimmy Dore Show. If you've been enjoying the stream, please consider paying for the stream. You can subscribe or cheer or donate directly using command tip. Just like Ash Rand, who tipped £20 and said, donating for clown, higher quality clown than the New Statesman. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, thank you for the huge raid. Hey everyone, I'm Sophie from Mars. I make video essays. Tomorrow I have a big video essay coming out. It's called The World Is Not Ending. I'm gonna quickly dump the link in chat because I would like everyone to put this on their watch later and come back to it. This is very important to me. I've been working on this video for like 2 years now, and it's very important to me that everyone should check it out tomorrow when it does go live. So I'm just going to paste it in here. Thank you so much, Catherine in chat saying your best video yet. And I mean, honestly, I agree. So like, I'm just pasting it into chat over there. Please click there, click the watch later. This is the Liberal Slop stream. Basically, we look at publications like The Economist, The New Statesman, The Atlantic, some stuff on YouTube, and we roast them for being liberal slop. This one, however, that's the usual format, right? We had a Sir Kid Starver special. We talked about what kind of genetic offshoot Wes Streeting is, you know, stuff like this. That's the usual vibe. I've been working on this video. The world is not ending. Actually, let me just quickly... If you have clicked the link, you are seeing this here. Please go see this here. Put it on your watch later. I would really appreciate... Oh my goodness, Purin is raiding me as well. This is so many raids. Oh my god. Okay, I'm going to quickly repost it then. Hey to all of Purin's raiders as well. I'm just posting a link in the chat. It's my video that's coming out tomorrow. I would really, really appreciate it if you would all... click the bell so that you're notified when the premiere begins. That would mean a lot to me. Or on your watch later so that you watch it later after it's out. That would be really cool. In the meantime, I'm Sophie from Mars. I make video essays. I got this huge one coming out tomorrow. I've been working for like 2 years now. I'm doing my liberal slop stream where usually we look at publications like The Economist, The New Statesman, The Atlantic, some Guardian stuff, videos by like Kurzgesagt or whatever. Nat's going to do a liberal slop stream this weekend about David Baddiel. Stuff like this, okay, where we talk about liberal slop and how it creates the media environment that keeps people in the liberal mind prison, right? But I've been working really hard on this video, which is coming out tomorrow, and I'm tired. So I haven't streamed in a few weeks because I've been working so hard on the video, and this is like my first stream back. So we're taking it a bit easy. We're picking on some low-hanging fruit, rather than pure intense liberal slop, which, as people who were here before the raid saw with Welcome to the Age of Foom scrolling, really raises my blood pressure. Instead, we're just gonna have some fun with Jimmy Dore. Okay, here we go. Wait, is this the right screen for doing this? Because I kind of want to play Zelda at the same time. Okay, everyone, I'm gonna play Zelda. Wait, can I do that, or can this? Okay, I'm gonna have to wait to play Zelda because having this on screen, I don't think I could do a clean screen divide where I had like the YouTube video and me and Zelda. I don't know if that would work very well. We're just gonna watch it for a bit, and then I'm gonna chill and play Zelda. Maybe off stream, honestly, because that's a vibe. Okay, I said this was gonna be a chill stream. I'm just gonna watch some incredible minds in conversation with each other right now, and then I'm gonna go solve puzzles. Okay. Good lord. Okay. Jimmy Dore live. I love how all the clips on the Jimmy Dore Show YouTube channel have this at the start, right? His tour dates. So that if you're like a horrible conspiracy boomer who still thinks they're some kind of socialist, right? Then you could book to go see him when he's in your town. All right. This is how RFK Jr. beat addiction with Carl Jung.
We have special guest in studio with us. It's RFK Jr. He's an environmental lawyer, law professor, activist, best-selling author, and from 1986 to 2017, he served as a senior attorney for the Natural Resources Defense Council and was the chief prosecuting attorney for Hudson Riverkeeper. He is a professor emeritus of environmental law at Pace University School of Law. He's also the founder and chairman of Children's Health Defense, an advocacy group challenging the dominant narratives around vaccines and vaccination. He's the author of a dozen published books, including the best-selling The Real Anthony.
Okay, I guess that's the big lead in here, is that RFK is very famously anti-vax, and so is Jimmy Dore.
Fauci, Bill Gates, Big Pharma, and the global war on democracy and public health. Kennedy is running for the Democratic Party's nomination for president. welcome to the show. Thanks for being.
Trans Jane there saying, having your logo being you blasting your own ears with a megaphone is a bit on the nose. Yeah, speaking into the megaphone, but also having the megaphone pointing in your own ears, so the only thing you can hear is your own voice. Might be a funny and charming bit if it weren't very, very constantly obvious that that's how Jimmy Dore's entire existence is.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, Jimmy, and thanks for being such an incredible leader and so courageous about all of these issues during the lockdowns. I watch your show regularly. I think I think myself and
Jesus Christ, it's truly like a Democrat mirror of Trump coming on InfoWars. RFK is literally like, thank you for being a leader during the pandemic. I watch your show all the time. Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
a lot of Americans got a lot of hope. You were the first guy who was being funny about it. And the humor is such an important part of change and criticism and political dissent. And it was weird what happened to the, I'm sure you noticed this, that all these comedians stopped being funny at the beginning of COVID. All the people who we laughed at for 20 years, and none of them were funny anymore because they weren't allowed to laugh at what was happening, what was really happening. They all had to go along with the narrative. It was shocking. And then it was a few kind of right-wing comedians that, were the only ones who were talking about it. But all of the people who, I admired and grew up with. And
hey, everyone, you remember the end of Conspiracy on the Left where I talk about how the truth has to matter, and otherwise you're going to be pushing what you think is leftism, but it's actually just a conspiracy cult that is functionally less and less distinguishable from MAGA and QAnon. Yeah, well, here's Jimmy Dore interviewing a presidential candidate.
You were one of the few liberals who were
Kennedy, no less,
doing it.
Actually, RFK raises a good point. This is still liberal slop because they both have slop for brains and call themselves liberals.
Speaking out, but as for Jimmy Kimmel and Colbert and all of those guys, they went dead. What happened?
I feel like they let down comedy. Now I know Jimmy Kimmel. I haven't talked to him for probably 15 years, but he was a sweetheart of a guy. I always thought he was a nice guy. He was nice to me, and so it was a heartbreak to see that. And Stephen Colbert was a hero of mine comedically. I thought that show he did was the best satirical comedy show in the history. Yeah. And turns out.
Okay, so first, just to kind of as a warm up, we were already getting the guys who they thought were incredible and good comedians anyway, just just not really that funny. Just very mainstream liberal comedians. They're gonna stop praising SNL next. And then they were betrayed by them because they used to be brave comedians. But then COVID happened. Anyway, I'm moving my camera, by the way, because I would hate for you all to miss when Jimmy Dore is on screen, him doing his patented Jimmy Dore face when he thinks he's made a good point. I think that's very important, so I'm just going to move my camera into the middle there. I guess we'll just carry on.
Oh, he became that character when he started hosting his late night show on CBS. He became the character he used to be, just repeats talking points and establishment. I mean, it was nuts to watch. It was heartbreaking. And so I appreciate the nice words from you on that. And I feel, I used to always be very proud to be a member of the stand-up comedy community. And boy, it really left me. I got embarrassed to see comedians go on stage and shame people for reading. Can you imagine that? Comedians. And so, yeah, it was a real heartbreaker.
What were they reading, Jimmy? What were they shaming them for reading, Jimmy? Were they shaming them for reading War and Peace? No. Were they shaming them for reading Das Kapital? No. Were they shaming them for reading studies about how ivermectin can cure COVID? Because I have a little suspicion here, Jimmy, that it might be the horse dewormer that you're actually referring to when you say shaming people for reading.
But and I took took it on the chin. A lot of friends, but you've been going through that for much longer than me, so I can't complain. But I wanted to talk to you. There's a lot of things that everybody's talked about. A lot of things with you. You've been on our show twice already, so we've covered a lot of stuff. But
Sorry, fucking what? Okay. Well, I missed that.
Interested, if you don't mind. So, when you were addicted and then you got sober, did you go to a program to do that, or how did that happen?
Well, I went to a rehab in September of 1983, and weirdly, it was a rehab that was not a 12-step rehab, and it was a strange process that I don't think anybody uses anymore.
It's not that weird for a rehab to not be a 12-step rehab. A lot of the rehabs that are available to people, from wealthy families, like, just off the top of my head, like from the American aristocracy, like say the Kennedys, would have access to, deliberately pull them away from like working together with other people and instead do a whole like psychoanalytic regression shit and like a bunch of borderline new agey approaches instead.
But I ended up leaving there and then going into 12-step programs.
Oh, okay.
And so I've been doing that for 40 years, and I do a lot of it's a sort of central
asks God for serenity, courage,
organizing
wisdom,
function of my life. I go to meetings every day. I start every morning, go to an early morning meeting, and I
RFK goes to meetings every day. Can you imagine this dude doing a share? Fuck. Can you imagine this guy taking the mic on the Zoom meeting for like his minute and a half? Fuck. That would be wild shit. He would talk about Bill Gates the entire time.
I do. I do my meditations while I hike. So I do that, which is important to me, and kind of organize my existence around that and my day, and try to keep, even with all the sturm and drang and the hurly-burly and all of the, the weird things that happen in my life, to try to stay on that kind of spiritual keel, try to walk with one foot in the material world and the other in the spiritual world, and try to keep feet peaceful.
Quite a trick if you can pull that off. I heard you talk about, so I'm a big fan of Carl Jung. And we share the same birthday, so that's a synchronicity.
Wow, they really decided the title for this video before they did the interview, huh? Like how RFK Jr. beat addiction with Carl Jung. Like he led in with the question, like, but hey, that wasn't a 12-step, was it? Turns out my guy is salt of the earth after all. He left all that. All the fancy rehab, and he went down to the working man's 12-step program. And then Jimmy's like, no, but talk about Carl Jung though. but talk about Carl Jung though.
And so I heard you talk about that Carl Jung helped you awaken spiritually or kind of reconnect spiritually. Can you talk a little bit about that?
First of all, I knew that I needed to have a spiritual realignment, because I didn't want, I started taking drugs soon after my dad's death, and I started when I was 15 years old, But from the beginning, and I got addicted very quickly. I had a very quick progression. So I was
That
using
makes sense. That must have been a fucking awful time.
intravenous heroin within, when I was 15 years old. And but I always was remorseful about it. I always was trying to get off.
Wait a second. Someone's just posted in chat, Vorsh is a counter-revolutionary scumbag? Gee, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? Hasn't he done so much for the left? And haven't you heard that he has such a massively trans community? God, ooh, he's so good for everyone. Don't you know? No, I'm highlighting this because I like. Obviously, I agree with you. But I don't see what this is in response to. I didn't see anyone mention Vorsh. Hero to socialism that he is. The original title of this particular liberal slop stream was going to be Rutger Bregman is a dengist worm. Shit, now I'm going to have to explain the whole Rutger Bregman. Oh, fuck. I was going to drop the segment and come back to it in a later stream because I did not have the energy, but now I've got to explain Rutger Bregman. Fucking... Give me a second. But anyway, you know who's a fucking dengest worm? No, okay, we're getting Rutger Bregman's terrible tweets. What the fuck? Okay, I was trying to find the irritating dengest shit I saw. But I just searched Rutger Bregman. I got this weird. This is the story of one of the most inspiring schools on the planet. It's sometimes described as the Hogwarts for do-gooders. And that's cool. Thanks, Rutger. Did not need a Harry Potter metaphor there, but we got one anyway. And when I visited the school in March of this year, I was absolutely blown away. Sorry, to be clear to everyone, this is not what I was aiming for. I just wound up with this tweet, and it was I'm already drawn in by my senses for liberal slop. I crave the slop, and it just pulls me closer towards it. You'll find the school on a busy street in West London, in the Kilburn district. The Kilburn district? Jesus Christ. The districts of London. I'm not reading all of this. I'm not fucking reading all of this. It was Rutger Bregman, or R.C. Bregman, degrowth. It was this obnoxious tweet, right? Anyone who's in favor of eradicating poverty should be wary of degrowth. Even if every country were as equal as Denmark, which would be great, we'd still need a 5-fold increase in the size of the world economy. Fucking, this is why I'm calling him a dengist, right? Fucking used car salesman of social democracy that he is, Rutger Bregman is still trying to insist that the best way for us, for the best possible way for us to get to socialism is to have way more capitalism first. I'm so tired of this man. I'm so fucking tired of this man. In Utopia for Realists, I remember him saying this thing that was like, Marx's idea of the working class and the ruling class no longer really works. Like, if a bunch of bank workers went on strike, that wouldn't be a real strike, would it? But he was literally talking about like the employees who just like work in the bank, like the bank tellers, and I'm like, yeah, it would though. But it would though. Many proponents of degrowth, who often live in rich countries, yeah, because degrowth is for the imperial core. It's not... the degrowth is not a global degrowth and like shoving down all the poor countries because degrowth for its own sake. I'm so tired of this guy. Okay, I decided to drop the segment because I don't have the energy for it right now. So I'm just gonna say, I know I'm not articulating my thoughts about Rutger Bregman very well. I'm gonna come back to spineless dengist Rutger Bregman another time. For now, we're just having some fun. talking about horrifying childhood trauma and drug addiction with RFK and Jimmy Dore. Genuinely, and I do mean it, and in between like poking fun at Jimmy and RFK for being conspiracy theorists while still being liberals. Truly the most cringe combination you could put together. It must have genuinely been fucking awful to have like a father who's a public figure who then gets assassinated. That's like I don't know. I don't know that I can sufficiently imagine emotionally what that's like, right?
I knew that it was not what I wanted to do with my life. And I had iron willpower in every other aspect of my life. I've talked about this, that I gave up candy for Lent when I was 13 years old. I didn't eat candy again until I was in college. I gave up desserts the following year and did not eat another dessert till I was a freshman in college, and I was playing rugby and trying to bulk up. So I started eating, desserts again. But I felt I felt like I had iron willpower. I could do anything.
Yeah, again, in the middle of saying that, though, to divert immediately back to laughing at them. Of course he was doing rugby. What? Not American football, because he's a Kennedy.
With it, but somehow this compulsion was impervious to it. And I would say the most demoralizing part of it.
Chat, please stay off jokes about his voice. The guy has a disability. It's just not fun to make fun of him for having an issue with his vocal cords.
Addiction is the incapacity to keep contracts with yourself. So I would say at 9 o'clock in the morning, I am never going to do that again. And I would say it honestly, sincerely, earnestly. Mm-hmm. And at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd be doing what I promised I wouldn't do. And it was cunning, baffling, powerful. I just, I could not understand what was happening. And I had been raised with a very Catholic, pious, and I had a very good experience with the Catholic Church from when I was a kid. I never had any trauma or anything. The people the priests, the nuns that I was exposed to were generally incredibly admirable people.
God grant my chat the courage to make fun of RFK for the things he does and believes in. The serenity not to make fun of him for things he cannot control, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
And so I never had any of these traumas that took other people away from the church. But when you're living against conscience, as I was, God tends, any conception that you have of God tends to recede to the peripheries of your life, because there's just not room for it. And it does, you're living against conscience. So I knew I didn't like being an addict. I wanted to stop. And but I couldn't go into a 12-step program because of, who I was and kind of, for me, it would seem crazy for somebody with my experience to walk into a group of strangers and start talking about your, personal issues. Because my experience with that was somebody would put it in the newspapers, and would be reckless for me to do it. But I got arrested when I was 28 years old, September of 1983. And at that point, the cat was out of the bag. So there was no barrier to me then going in and, into a 12-step program. And that's what I did. I started going to meetings. I knew from the beginning that I wanted to have a spiritual realignment. And the 12 steps are built to induce
Argonian Bum is saying here, people criticize Jimmy for letting him talk for a while, but like on this topic it's not so harmful. It's when he starts talking about vaccines. Well, I mean, to Jimmy Dore they're functionally indistinguishable, because Jimmy Dore is an anti-vaxxer. He is a vaccine science denier. So I don't like of course he would let him talk on both. I don't know. It's I don't want to accept a framing that posits that Jimmy Dore is like, should have done the responsible thing. Jimmy Dore just should not like be listened to or accepted or given any kind of platform or have any kind of platform shared with him, because like the dude is actually just like propagating actively dangerous conspiracy theories. And In many cases, it's just a bit of a reactionary.
A spiritual awakening of one kind or another, very personalized. There's no cosmology, there's no religion, but there's basically they encourage you to, they ease your path at finding your own spiritual path, your own relationship with a God of whatever your understanding is. I knew I wanted that kind of realignment because I did not want to be out on the street again, like wanting a drug and then just of having to white knuckle it and say I'm not going to do it. I didn't want to be struggling with it. I wanted to be like a regular person who woke up in the morning and said hi to the family and ate breakfast and was not struggling with a compulsion all day. And I knew that throughout history, there had been people who had had these spiritual awakenings that had taken them away from addiction. St. Augustine, I'd read the Confessions, and he, had this incredibly debauched childhood. He was a sex addict until he was 30.
This is I don't know. This is a strange place to like talk about to like have someone talk about the 12-step program and it's RFK, but I don't know, I don't want to give people the impression that and I do try not to be. Oh my goodness, Sean is rating with 128 people. Whoa. Okay, I'll quickly catch you all up. Hey everyone, I'm Sophie from Mars. I am a video essayist. Thank you very much, Sean, for subscribing. We are in the middle of watching some Jimmy Dore. Yay! Why are we in the middle of watching some Jimmy Dore? Well, let me tell you. It all starts with me talking about my new video that's coming out tomorrow. Yay! It's called The World Is Not Ending. Whoa, what a bold claim. That's so interesting that she would say that. Wow, that must be a really interesting and complicated video that took a really long time to make. You're right, it took nearly 2 years. I'm putting the link into chat now so you can all click to get the notification when it comes out tomorrow, and also maybe watch later. Either or both if you want to watch it again. Who knows? Okay. The World Is Not Ending. I've been working on this for 2 years. Especially in the last few months, I've been really fucking tired because I've been working on it absolutely nonstop. This is my first stream back in a little while because of the last couple of weeks I was just working on this and doing absolutely nothing else. So it's my first stream back, right? What am I doing? It's the Liberal SLOP stream. To catch people up who don't know, the Liberal SLOP stream, that's where I look at like the Atlantic and New Statesman and Economist and Guardian, stuff like that, and I make fun of it being liberal slop. Nat and I watched the Kutzgesagt videos about climate change. Liberal slop, right? Bill Gates funded nonsense. Stuff like this, right? There's a lot of response in left content to fascists and reactionaries. Sometimes we gotta respond to liberals and talk about how harmful and sometimes just evil their frameworks are. Like when we watched the Kutzgesagt videos and we found them promoting eugenics with like a big fucking animated bar for the population of Africa that's red when it's full and then becomes more green as it goes down. Pretty horrible fucking stuff. Anyway, that's what the Liberal Slop stream is usually about. We discuss what elements and motivations and tactics and technologies are at play in different liberal articles, trying to do what to create the liberal media environment. But I'm really tired. I'm really sleepy, and it was really warm today, which is why I am reminding you once again that the reason that I'm really sleepy is because of The World Is Not Ending. Oh my god, there's an ad break. Anyway, bear with me through the ads, I guess. Oh fuck, no shit. Wait, ad break end. Wait, was the ad break going on then? Oh my god. Okay. I can't even tell anymore. Listen, I put the link to the video there. The point is, mid-sentence ad break, ad's over. I don't know which one is happening. This is a nightmare. Okay. Everyone listen. I'm really tired because I've been working on this video for like 2 years. I'm putting the link there again. I would really appreciate people donating to help keep me alive. That would be cool. This stream right now it's gonna be low energy. It's been pretty low energy so far. I was gonna have a whole thing about Rutger Bregman being a dengest worm. I just didn't have the energy to do it. I'm gonna have to do it in another stream. Tomorrow I'm doing a Q&A after the video is premiered to talk about the video. On Sunday, I'm doing Red Planet. On Monday, I'm going on Mule's stream to watch the video again, right? I'm doing a lot of stuff, is my point. And this one, it's just a chill stream. If you want to just, like, help a gal out, just maybe use Command Tip, and then see what happens. And in the meantime, we're going to watch RFK talking to Jimmy Dore while Jimmy Dore does that face he do about how he escaped from being addicted to stuff. Finally, we're back in the room. Let's go.
Years old and a drug and an alcoholic. St. Francis had had kind of a wild youth. The same thing. He was a party guy.
Jenny Body, thank you for tipping £25. Lorcan Nagel says, Jimmy Dore, Jimmy Dickhead, more like, fucking got him. Okay.
And they had these spiritual awakenings that had lifted their compulsions away. So, and I knew many. I'd read the lives of the saints, so that's a persistent theme.
Critty Chamarity says, 2 years is insane, OMG. Yeah, well, it's a video about how we beat climate change without giving into liberal lies. So it's a pretty big project. It's been pretty complicated to put together, and it's 2.5 hours long. So, I know Sean's audience will enjoy it.
And I had a friend who was the best friend of my little brother, David, who died of this disease. But this friend of his used to take drugs with the same compulsion that I did. And he became a Mooney at one point. And he joined the Unification Church and became a disciple of Reverend Sun Myung Moon. But he would still hang out with us. And he would watch us take drugs in the same room while we were doing it, but he had no desire to do it. He completely lifted from him. And he would sit there and chatter about his stuff, his views. And I used to think, but he didn't want it. And he was free from the compulsion. And I used to think about this guy when I first got sober, and I'd say, and this, evinces the kind of the narrowness and judgmentalness of my mind at that time. But I would say to myself, I would rather be dead than be a Mooney. But I wish that somehow I could get whatever it was that he had to distill that power that he had that allowed him to escape the compulsion.
Oh, yeah, this was exactly the point I was going to make, right? People in chat have been saying a bunch as he's been discussing it, like, oh, but the 12-step program is really Jesus-y and stuff. Now, I've heard in North America it is way more Jesus-y, way more explicitly Jesus-y than in the UK and Europe. But on the other hand, what he's describing now, that's a really important part of this, right? Like, essentially, like, people submit themselves to things that in some ways resemble cult tactics, because they're the same, like, social pressures that, like, make the human brain do what you want it to do, except for the, hi there, Lucy for herself, please don't make fun of RFK's voice, he has a disability. The social pressures and tactics that make people do stuff in cults, right? Those same tactics can be used toward, like, a positive end, like making them stop drinking or stop taking drugs. And this, like, backfires, right? There's a great episode of Behind the Bastards that talks about Synanon, that, like, is basically a 12-step program that gets, turned back into a cult, right? But the thing is, they're using, like, social tactics that, could be very harmful in other people's hands. Lucy, don't worry about it. If you didn't know, you didn't know. But yeah, just so we're all clear. They're using these like social pressures to help people, and that's a really interesting thing for people to kind of like walk into with their eyes open, I guess. Everything can be a bit culty. Yeah, I mean, true, but like it's in a specific way, right? Where like the 12 steps, the fellowship is a fellowship because people are meant to like completely immerse themselves and like have a ton of contacts available to them as this whole other world if they're not feeling supported in their ability to stay sober in the people they already know. They have a whole second set of friends within the program and within the fellowship. And stuff like this, only, you know, it doesn't then take the extra step of, like, taking everyone's money or getting them to, like, leave their house or move to a compound or any shit like this, because genuinely the whole goal is just to make people, like, help people get sober.
Without becoming a religious nuisance. And and that's when I picked up, when I was having those thoughts, I picked up this book and it was an act of synchronicity. I picked it up off a table. I don't know who left it there, but it was a book called Synchronicity by Carl Jung, and it was my first real exposure to Jung. Of course, I'd heard of Jung like any educated person had, but I really didn't know much about him. And the reason I read that book is because the Police had an album out by the same name that just had come out, and I didn't know what the word meant. So I wanted to read about it. And Jung, you know, was, as you know, Jung was he was a disciple of Freud's, and they were kind of the co-fathers of modern psychiatry. But unlike Freud, who was an atheist, and really, you know, what I would say to people who want to read about Jung.
Rifklia says, Sophie from Mars is not a real leftist. I know this because she always thanks Kropotkin and Marx and Engels, but never Mao for her proportions. This is because at the end of the video I thanked Marx and Engels for inventing being gay and transgender, right? I think I used to also talk about thanking Marx and Engels for giving me fat titties and Kropotkin for giving me a dump truck ass. And it's true, they did. But I guess I haven't said, you know, eternal, long-lasting glory to the chairman for my wide hips and curvy waist. I guess, you know, it usually I think is redundant to say that because it's just so obvious that Mao Zedong made it possible for me to simply be the cuntiest in any room I walk into. You know, thank you for calling me out on that. I think it's important to self-crit. I think it's really important to struggle together to acknowledge, you know, just how outrageously good HRT has made my body. You know, thank you for that. I think we've just done some real dialectical analysis of my curves.
Is they should not read Synchronicity. They should read Jung's biography, which is called Dreams, Memories, Dreams, and
something else. Yes,
yeah, and something else. The three things. But anyway, which is
Lucky Bun says, "I'm so glad you were able to introspect like that." Grove DG says, "Finally some real character development." Yeah, I mean, I'd say the last few years I've had some pretty good character development, honestly. Like, to be perfectly clear about it, yeah. I'd say I've really become like a very real leftist through taking as much estrogen as I can possibly cram in my body.
Fascinating.
Mm-hmm. That's the first book I read of us.
Yeah, his life, because his father was a preacher, but he was a rote preacher, and he never had an authentic spiritual experience. And whereas Jung always knew that his father was miserable, and his father, at the end of his life, lost all of his faith, and just saw his entire life as one long act of hypocrisy. And but he was a genius at kind of repeating the kind of religious mantras of the.
Is Jimmy Dore capable of not making the face at this point? Yeah, if he rolls a nat 20, yes. But he needs to have a boost to electrochemistry, and he needs to have like introspected first for that to be more likely and possible.
The time, you know, from the podium and you know, and checking all the dots, but he never had an authentic spiritual experience. Whereas Jung began having these experiences. When you read his book, he has these vivid recollections of these intense spiritual experiences that he had from when he was 3 or 4 years old. And his memory of them is absolute. His recollection of them is absolute. A lot of them occurred during dreams, but also other things happened to him. And a lot of those were synchronicities. One of these experiences that happened later on in his life, which he describes in that book, Synchronicity, he ran the biggest sanitarium in Europe. And he's sitting up on the 3rd floor in Zurich with this with a patient of his who's a woman, and she's talking about a dream that she had, and dreams were the sort of the centerpiece, dream interpretations of his brand of psychiatry. And by the way, he played a critical role in crafting the spiritual dimensions of the AA program, which was the first 12-step program, because he treated a guy called Roland Hazard, who was a Boston businessman and was Bill Wilson's best friend. And Roland Hazard went in, was a very successful businessman who went to get treatment 3 times.
Refclea says, "All right, good night, lovely people. I appreciate you all for trying to kill my brainworms. I have only one brainworm, and his name is Shai Hulud." Okay, fucking good night.
Young, and then each time thought he was cured of alcoholism, left. And with days or weeks, he was, full-blown binge again. And finally he came back and he said to Young, he said, "Level with me. Is there any hope for anybody like with my level of alcoholism?" And Young said, "There isn't. It's hopeless." And Hazard presses him and he says, "Is there ever in history in somebody with my level of alcoholism who actually overcomes?" And Young said, "Yeah, but it happens infrequently and only with people who have profound spiritual realignments." And Hazard shared that with Bill Wilson, and Bill Wilson then began.
This is kind of fascinating to hear from a different side, because like the fucking way that this story is always told is just like, a friend of mine went to, is the Bill Wilson side of it. That's like, a friend of mine went to a doctor and asked, "Can I be helped with medicine?" And the doctor said, "No, but if you have a spiritual awakening, maybe." And RFK is telling him it like whips so much fucking harder because the doctor is Carl Jung. Like, what?
Correspondence with Jung, which is really interesting. And Jung is mentioned in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous in one of the key chapters where they talk
about, that's what I'm saying.
The sort of the evolution of the spiritual dimensions of AA. So Jung is sitting in this room with a patient. The fulcrum of her dream is a scarab beetle, which is a common item of iconography in the hieroglyphics of Egypt and the tombs and the obelisks, etc. But it's a rare, if not completely extirpated creature in Northern Europe, where he was at that time. You never see him there. And while he's speaking to her and she's describing this dream, he's hearing this ping, ping, ping on the window behind him. And he doesn't want to turn and take his attention off the patient, but it's getting him irritated. And finally, in exasperation, he stands and he throws open the window, and a scarab beetle flies in and lands in his palm. And he turns to her.
Kind of wild that like Jimmy Dore has recognized RFK as like a similar like stripe of boomer conspiracy leftist who's quoting people who should usually be resistant to conspiracy theory style logics and misinformation, but is turning their brains to mush as well. And so he's just like, you know what? Just come on my show and just like rant for like 5 minutes uninterrupted, and then I'll go, yeah. And then you can just have another like 10, 15 minutes just telling the world's like a story that would make Grandpa Abe Simpson be like, damn, this is a bit much.
He shows it to her and he said, "Is this what you were dreaming about?" And he kind of had it was a little bit of a revelation for him, because he said the chance of that happening are 1 in a trillion, right? And so it just violated the laws of mathematics,
And that scarab beetle was Albert Einstein.
of nature, of probability. These are natural laws. And so something had violated a natural law, which has to be supernatural. And he kind of looked at that experience as God reaching in, violating his own laws occasionally to come in and tap people on the shoulder and say, I'm here. And that was sort of God's way of communicating with his children, his spiritual children. Oh, young man, because he's a spiritual guy, very deeply spiritual, but he also has this other part of him that is a very faithful scientist. And so he starts these experiments to try to reproduce that experience in a clinical setting. So he puts one guy in one room and another guy in the other room and has them flip cards, playing cards, and then try to guess what the other guy flipped. And he believes that if he can beat the laws of probability, that he will have proven the existence of a supernatural, which is the first step to proving the existence of a God. And he tries to do that, but he says in this book, which is very impressive, that he couldn't do it. But he does say this. He says, even though I can't use empirical tools and scientific tools.
Jimmy Dore is doing the face like throughout this interview, but he doesn't look happy. And I mean, the Jimmy Dore face like isn't a particularly happy one in the first place, but God, he just looks like he's dying inside. Like he has to smile and nod along with this long fucking story about Carl Jung, and he just like, fair enough. To be honest, he doesn't care.
He says, even though I can't use empirical tools and scientific tools to prove the existence of a God, I can prove that people who believe in God have, based upon case studies of thousands of patients that he'd seen and anecdotal evidence that have come through, people have come through his sanitarium, that people who believe in God and get better faster, and that the recovery is more durable than people who do not. And for me, that was an incredibly impactful thing to hear, and much more impactful than if he said that he believed that he had proven the existence of a God, which I would not have believed. But that, at that point in my recovery, I had made a commitment to myself that I was going to do anything.
Oh my God, I was muted. No, someone asked me to do the face. Anyway, that was the face. Now everyone's gonna be telling me I'm muted because of the delay, and I'm not gonna see and then people are gonna say it's okay, we've caught up now. Now I'm in a JoJo scene. Thank you for asking me to do the face. I'm sorry I completely beefed it by being muted, and Nat, my wife is laughing at me off screen. He really does just look a bit like he's dying inside through so much of this interview, because he is just like, I don't know, maybe he is just fucking dying inside. Like, he's so far outside of his body in this moment, and he's just
thing that improved my chances of recovery by even 1%. So if believing in God would improve that recovery, then I was going to do it. So then I was presented with the problem, how do you start believing in something that you can't see or smell or taste or touch or smell or acquire with your senses? And Jung solves that problem. He says,
okay, sorry. I was trying to do impressions along with Jimmy doing the face, and then he fucking licked his lips, which is like one of the worst things about watching back Jimmy Dore footage, is when he does that slow like fucking dinosaur tongue out. Like, it's just dreadful to see. Just Oh, goddamn. I really wish I had not fucking had to watch as much Jimmy Dore as I've had to watch for my job.
And Jung solves that problem. He says you fake it till you make it. You act as if, and that the obedience precedes the evidence. So, and that obedience to to a God, that compliance with the way that God wants us to behave will then be is an act of faith, because you're doing it based on faith, but you will see the evidence presently. And so I started living my life. I just said, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to act as if there's a God up there watching me 24 hours a day, and that life is just a series of tests, and that that every day is I would break down into about 40 different decisions, and I invested each one of those decisions with a moral dimension.
Okay, as riveted as I'm sure everyone is, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit because I'm getting a little tired of hearing about Jung and the 12-step program now.
And we're all given certain powers. You have the power to make people laugh.
Yeah, I guess he does.
People have, and your incredible good looks, and people have education. people have education. They have connections. They have money. They have a good job. Whatever the power is, are you using that to serve yourself well? Or are you using it?
Oh, he's still talking about the program. Okay, I really thought we were gonna go somewhere else with this. That was gonna be more of an interview. Maybe there is. Maybe that half-hour video is not the end. Sam Harris sinks lower than you could ever imagine. What the fuck? Is this a? Oh no, he's watching a video, I guess. This isn't like a Zoom. This isn't him like Zoom calling with Sam Harris. That would be bizarre. Wikipedia equals CIA. Jimmy Dore's page edited by Jimmy Dore's Wikipedia page edited by CIA. Yeah, let's watch that. Okay.
Guess what? So Wikipedia is garbage, right? For some things it's okay, but if you want to go to Wikipedia to find out about a person and they're controversial, it's not good. Like if you just want to go find out about a regular actor or something, it's probably accurate. But if you want to find out about a reporter who's actually or a politician or an activist or anybody, it's all going to be filled with CIA talking points. Because the CIA and the intelligence community, not only the CIA, but the FBI and the MI6 and they all have their fingers in Wikipedia.
Yeah,
So
this is why we don't
this is
use
from
Wikipedia
Reuters.
as
CIA,
our main
FBI
source.
computers used for
for
Wikipedia
stuff, dude.
edits. That's from August 16th, 2007. This is from RT. CIA moderating Wikipedia. Former
shit,
editor
RT?
says
Damn.
Wikipedia is one of the many tools used by the U.S. liberal establishment and its allies in the intelligence community to wage information warfare.
Melanori says, dude is monumentally mad. I think we might be experiencing a Foom of being mad online right now. I think Jimmy Dore's being mad online might have just leveled up the entire species. If we can just hook up his molding energy straight into a generator, we may have found a clean, renewable energy source.
Its co-founder, Larry Sanger, has told journalist Glenn Greenwald. Speaking on Greenwald's System Update podcast, Sanger lamented how the site had helped.
Hey, to Mule and all the Raiders. I'm Sophie. I do Red Planet with Mule every Sunday, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. GMT. I'm not going to redo the whole entire thing I've been doing every time I've been getting a raid tonight because I've gotten quite a few raids, but I am going to drop this YouTube link into chat. I need you to click this. Oh, my camera is in the worst possible place for me to talk about this for a second. Let's just transition over there. The world is not ending. I've been working on this video for 2 years. It's 2 hours, 20 minutes long. It's coming out tomorrow. It's the best thing I've ever made. Please watch it. Click the notifications, watch it when it comes out, or watch it later, whatever. In the meantime, we're watching some Jimmy Dore, who is maybe melding more than anyone has ever melded before, because the CIA edited his Wikipedia page, according to him. Okay. If you're enjoying the stream, please consider paying for the stream. You can subscribe or cheer or donate directly using Command Tip. If you donate directly using Command Tip, you'll be helping with all my whole living in bills situation. And if we break the target, then Pinko the Clown will do more streams in future. There is one booked for this month. It is called Clown ASMR brackets loud. That's all I can say. Okay, let's do it.
He helped found in 2001 has become an instrument of control in the hands of the left liberal establishment, among which he counts the CIA, the FBI, and other so the NSA. We do have evidence that as early as 2008, the CIA and FBI computers were used to edit Wikipedia. Do you think that they stopped doing that back then? Activity by the CIA and FBI on Wikipedia was first made public by a programming student named Virgil Griffith in 2007. Griffith developed a program called Wikiscanner that could trace the location of computers used to edit Wikipedia articles, and found that the CIA, FBI, and a host of large corporations and government agencies were scrubbing the online encyclopedia of incriminating information. CIA computers were used to remove casualty counts from the Iraq War, while an FBI machine was used to remove aerial and satellite images of the U.S. prison at Guantanamo.
Jimmy, can you please, and I know this is hard for you because of everything about your entire personality, but could you one time, please, for the love of God, get to the point?
Bay, Cuba. CIA computers were used to edit hundreds of articles, including entries on the Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, China's nuclear program, and the Argentine Navy. Some edits were more petty, with former CIA chief
Beyond 1313 has tipped £5 and says Clown Union dues. Welcome to the Clown Union. Plus, so excited for a new video. Thank you so much. I'm going to be premiering it tomorrow, streaming a quick 1 hour Q&A after it's out, doing Red Planet on Sunday with Mule and just Mule because Kira and Tim are away, and then I'll be watching the whole video on Mule's stream on Monday if people want to watch it with commentary.
William Colby apparently editing his own entry to expand his list of accomplishments. The intelligence agencies pay off their most influential people to push their agendas, which they've already mostly in line with. Those people are already in line with. Or they just develop their own talent within the intelligence community, learn the Wikipedia game, and then push what they want to say with their own people. A great part of intelligence and
sorry. He ended with the quote there, right? He ended with the quote. He stopped talking with the end of the guy's quote rather than saying what the rest of the text on screen said, which was Sanger told Greenwald.
And push what they want to say with their own people. A great part of intelligence and information warfare is conducted online on websites like Wikipedia. Earlier this year, Twitter owner Elon Musk released a trove of documents showing how the platform's former executives colluded with the FBI to remove content the agency wanted hidden, assisted the U.S. military's online influence campaigns, and centered anti-
I muted again. I'm such a dumb bitch. Okay. Mule said this video is like everything our friendship has been building up to. It's super true. We've been wanting to tell people the world is not ending and tell people what we want to get across here for a really long time. Aww. Sophie cures my doomerism. Also Sophie. Together, we cure other people's doomerism. It's true. Lots of people have told us that we do, actually. And I'm really excited about it. Mule, I gotta tell you, when we do the stream, I'm gonna read you some of the comments I got on Patreon, because they're really lovely. And I think they'll mean a lot to you. Yeah.
Ukrainian narratives on behalf of multiple U.S. intelligence agencies. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg has also admitted that Facebook, the biggest
Hey,
social
chat, this is a minor thing and is entirely rooted in my mental illness. So, like, you will have to listen because it's my stream, so you have to do as I say or else. But when I know it's very silly and funny that I've accidentally muted myself again or whatever. But if you create the impression in the text that you're like yelling, and I know you're doing this because it's like, oh no, she's got AirPods in, she can't hear us or whatever. I get the inherent comedy of the situation, but because of just like years of trauma and like the way that my brain fits together, the impression of all of you typing in a deliberately formatted way to look like you're yelling at me, it does a bad thing to my brain. So please, no, please, no, please no. Gumba Master, thank you so much for tipping £10.25 for the glory of clown. Oh yes. Okay, let's get on with Jimmy Dore.
media platform on earth censored accurate information that was damaging to President Joe Biden's 2020 election campaign at the direct request of the FBI. Now, if you go to my
Okay, so this is another this is one I can pick over right in a bit more detail for a second, right? Because again, it's like the difference between like sloppy bad tech reporting, like we saw with Ross Anderson earlier, right? Where it's just like tech reporters who just don't understand tech or whatever. And like the misinformation of something like RT that has an agenda, you know, it seems subtle, but there is a lot to it, right? Ross Anderson, he is in many ways like a tiny baby. And if you imagine a tiny baby who just really does not understand much outside of their own crib, that's how you can understand how Ross Anderson understands the world, right? Whereas RT is really deliberately trying to drive at something here. Which is why they're putting together like different instances to do with the intelligence community interacting with social media, Wikipedia, the internet generally, online informational infrastructure. Like, they're trying to do a thing here. So to pick apart just one of the examples, but to say like, there is... I'm not trying to say, hey, let's be nuanced about the intelligence community. They're obviously vile tools of American imperialism that must be just destroyed. But the worst part of any sentence. Censored accurate information that was damaging to President Joe Biden's 2020 election campaign at the direct request of the FBI refers to Hunter Biden stuff, right? There were pictures circulating of Hunter Biden's dick and balls, and it's actually very normal. I think it's like probably just like the decent thing to do if someone has had a massive like crack cocaine driven life meltdown, and then there are pictures of his dick and balls circulating around because of that. If you have the opportunity to ask the people who run the platforms where they are circulating, and they will take you seriously, and you have the opportunity to ask them to please take those pictures down, then maybe that's a good thing. Maybe overall in the world, that's a good thing that happened. Never questioning, like, the public's right to any information ever, and just treating what the information is itself as an abstract, you know, that's not... the truth has to matter, I guess is what I'm trying to say again.
Wikipedia page, it tells you I'm a conspiracy theory, and why does it tell you that? Because it's
Whoa. It tells you what now?
now, if you go to my Wikipedia page, it tells you I'm a conspiracy theory, and why?
Jimmy, please. Jimmy, I'm sure it doesn't tell us that. Come on now. Jimmy. Yeah, that's what I thought. It says he's an American stand-up comedian, political commentator, conspiracy theorist, podcaster and YouTube personality. It says he's all sorts of things. It definitely doesn't say he's a conspiracy theory.
Request of the FBI. Now, if you go to my Wikipedia page, it tells you I'm a conspiracy theory. And why does it tell you that? Because it says I said things about Seth Rich, which
His brain is just so good. It's just like... Jimmy Dore, debate me. His brain is just so powerful. It's like a steed in its prime, you know? It's just so... Fucking hell.
tells you I'm a conspiracy theory. And why?
Oh, it's actually not getting old. I thought I'd go back over it and I would have calmed down a little bit this time, but I genuinely... Fuck. It doesn't stop being funny, actually.
Does it tell you that? Because it says I said my Wikipedia page. It tells you I'm a conspiracy theory. And why does it tell you that? Because it says I said things about Seth Rich, which I never said. And it says that I got the Syria gas attack wrong. I got the Syria gas attack right.
Oh, of course you're still fucking saying that, you insufferable fucking dinosaur. Okay, conspiracy theories. Okay, Dore discussed conspiracy theories on the murder of Seth Rich on his show. Okay, we have links to follow here. So, this is the Washington Post. Blah, 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 blah. Is Jimmy Dore mentioned in this? Okay, Wheeler recanted his story. The Young Turks. Jimmy Dore show chewed over the revelation that Rich was in contact with WikiLeaks. They haven't put forward a source in that article. The source is the article itself. The progressive left is directionless, and anti-vax conspiracy theorists are seizing the opportunity to... Yeah, okay. Okay. MSN? Fucking MSN? Good lord. Okay. According to Salon, Dore continued to insist that there were a lot of red flags, and there was probably something more to this story after the source of much of the conspiracy theory was discredited. Woof. Fucking oof-a-doof. Tale of Two Hoaxes, the Seth Rich conspiracy theory, and conceptual penis prank both expose fear of women's power. Oh, wow. 2017, what a year. Okay, Jimmy Dore show. When it was revealed the source of much of the conspiracy theory, Rod Wheeler is a fraud, Dore kept instead. Okay, here we go. We've got a link this time. Let's just pile on through there to an old Young Turks status. Oh, look at that. It's a video. How convenient.
So Fox News did a report, and here's the beginning of the report.
Back with the Fox News alert, a brand new bombshell in the murder of that guy right there.
Gee whiz. Gosh darn egad, gadzooks, and gee golly willikers, wouldn't you believe it? It's Jimmy Dore talking about Seth Rich on his show, and it took just following the sources from the Wikipedia page. All you had to do was follow all the sources that they put on the Wikipedia page until you find literally a video of him talking about Seth Rich. He just said he didn't talk about Seth Rich. Awesome. Let's have a look at what he has to say about Seth Rich. You know, maybe he actually was really reasonable and he was like, guys, everyone's saying that Hillary murdered Seth Rich, and that's completely unfounded, unlike what everyone knows is obviously true, that she kills dogs for fun. Maybe he's being really reasonable and he's like, Hillary just kills dogs for fun. She never murdered Seth Rich. Maybe that's going to be what he is saying.
A DNC staffer, an investigator now says Seth Rich was in contact with WikiLeaks.
So turns out it's not a bombshell. It wasn't new information, and the guy Wheeler, who's the investigator, has recanted all that shit he said. He said, no, I got that information from a Fox News reporter, and I was just trying to set up the thing. So this guy Wheeler has lost all credibility. So the investigator that was hired by the family, paid by a third party, just so you know. So I'm not discounting that Seth Rich doesn't have something to do with the DNC WikiLeaks. There's a lot of red flags or a lot of questions.
There's really never been a time when he was real good with the old what do you call them? Words, yeah.
There's a lot of red flags or a lot of questions around this story right now. Lots of questions. But that guy, that investigator, Wheeler, he's got no credibility anymore. He's changed the story 3 times in one goddamn day, made me look like a jagoff on one of my videos. So.
Does he work for Donald Trump? That's like, he could be a Donald Trump communications
So here,
person.
There is something to this story, though. I don't want to discount it like, oh, you're crazy if you think there's something more to this story. There probably is something more to this story.
Geez, it seems like exactly what Salon just described is the case, that when it was revealed that the source of much of the conspiracy theory, Rod Wheeler, was a fraud, Theodore kept insisting that the existence of a lot of red flags, and there is probably more to this story. Yeah, cool. Seems like, yeah. Cool. Wait, what's the conceptual penis? What the fuck? Similarly, the conceptual penis story was trumpeted by a number of self-proclaimed rationalists, including scientists. Well, their problem there is they're counting Richard Dawkins on the left, when he's just a rampant Islamophobe and massive loser. What's the conceptual penis? What is this? Come on now. Come on. Oh, the false claim that the entire field of gender studies had been exposed as a fraud by 2 male scholars. Wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Uh-huh. Okay, very tedious. Anyway, yeah, sure looks like Jimmy Dore did, in fact, share... Oh, wow, good lord, what a few years it's been. Just changing between those 2 videos. Oh, geez, Jimmy, maybe you should have a little holiday. Maybe you should... Maybe... I mean, I'm saying this as someone who's gotten younger in the years in between. But, just, my guy, maybe it's time to just hit the golf course for a little while. Chill out.
Wikipedia got it wrong. They're the liars. The CIA is lying. At the direct request of the FBI. Now, if you go to my Wikipedia page, it tells you I'm a conspiracy theory. And why does it tell you that? Because it says I said things about Seth Rich, which I never said. And it says that I got the Syria gas attack wrong. I got the Syria gas attack right. Wikipedia got it wrong. They're the liars. The CIA is lying. They're wrong. Aaron Mate meticulously debunked the narrative that Assad gassed his own people.
Aaron Mate is a dead-eyed stooge who smugly and irritatingly repeats the most brazen and aggravating lies. He didn't meticulously debunk fucking anything. He just propagated a bunch of Assadist gibberish because an enemy of the American regime, the enemy of my enemy must, of course, be my friend.
Didn't. It was Al-Qaeda, al-Nusra, who did that. And they were doing that to help provoke the United States into bombings.
On the Ryland, thank you so much for donating £3.94 and saying, I considered paying for the stream. Would more people please consider paying for the stream?
Odd. That's why they did that. So that's called a false flag, and it didn't happen.
Fresno 109 says, I thought a lip slop stream would be good soundtrack for a walk around the neighborhood and a stretching session, but I didn't anticipate the listening to Jimmy Dore saps all my energy factor. Yeah, I would not want any soundtrack that contains Jimmy Dore during a stretching session, personally. Really would create the wrong mood.
And so if you go to Wikipedia, it says that I'm a conspiracy theorist because CNN Business said I said that about the, I deny the gas attacks of the Syria. I don't deny I deny that Assad did them because he didn't.
Interesting because he definitly implied at some point it was.
That's pretty interesting. Okay.
A different reason that the official thing was.
Yeah, let's just see. Let's just try Jimmy. I know I'm talking about a mouthful now, but it's really interesting that he says that. Let's just try gas attacks didn't happen. See what we get. Because I'm pretty sure he did, in fact, say pretty much precisely that they didn't happen. Gee, okay. When I was a lot more in close with the research phase of Conspiracy on the Left, I would have been able to dig out. This is so annoying. I would have been able to dig out a clip for you in like a couple minutes of Jimmy Dore being like. Did they happen? I don't know. There are just a lot of questions. But right now, I'm very far from that, so we're not going to be able to find it as quickly as we find the Steph Rich one. Actually, let's just have a quick look at the Wikipedia page again, because it's possible they have just cited the same thing. Sorry, I mean, it's possible they've done the same thing again. I'm so tired today. It's possible they've done the same thing again and given a source in the Wikipedia article that explains the fact that, like, shows exactly what Jimmy did. Okay. Incredible stuff. Oh, Ben Norton as well. How wonderful. Another one of my favorite boys. Fucking Conspiracy Left. I think we're due a proper check-in with the Conspiracy Left, actually. I might have to dedicate one of the liberal slop streams this month entirely to just seeing what these rancid little dudes are up to with the world's worst vibes. Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here at the Ron Cone.
Hey Jimmy.
So just so you know,
Oh, he was dyeing it to look like Superman. I get it now. I get it. Hey Nat, I didn't understand what had happened to his hair so fast, but I now realize he was trying to look like Superman. You know, because he was the original. That makes sense. That makes lots more sense.
you know the war in Syria is BS as far as from the U.S. perspective. I mean, there's an actual war happening there. There are people trying to overthrow the Assad regime, but it's not for the reasons you think, okay? And we've been funding al-Nusra, which is al-Qaeda, and ISIS. We're doing the same thing we did. That's why we're still in Afghanistan, 17 going on 18 years. It's all made up. And then in 2013, Barack Obama wanted to bomb Syria because they said Assad gassed his own people. And then you got to go bomb his people. If he gasses people, we have to bomb his people. It doesn't make any sense, I know. So and they were
truly one of the most aggravating uses of the face.
Make any sense, I know.
Oh god damn. Just hold on that for a second. Bonenblüte in Space has tipped £10 and says, I keep getting subs gifted, so here's some of my own money as a thanks. Oh, well, thank you so much. I mean, it's not me who's gifting you the subs, but like I appreciate you giving me the thanks anyway, I suppose.
So and they were sure of it, but
it's always like he does the face the most intense, right? Looks right in the camera, takes a beat, and then catches himself and laughs at his own joke.
As I know. So
oh god. That was really the perfect trifecta, actually. You know, you had the face, the lick lip, and then the laughing at his own joke. He did the face, he said he licked his lips, he laughed. Nat, can you come in on this for a second?
and they were sure of it. Sense, I know.
It's just the worst vibes on earth.
Well, it doesn't make any sense. I know.
Just impressively terrible vibes. Let's get you full screen. Let's get you full screen there. Oh, dreadful.
I was missing the eyebrow action.
Yeah, true.
And they were sure of it, by the way. And they again, and this is the last one too. And then there was another one. That's when Trump bombed Syria. They said there was another gas attack by Assad. Neither of them was by Assad. But the UN evidence shows Assad behind April gas attack. That's what it says. UN evidence. We got it. The Independent, France says it has proof Assad carried out chemical attacks that killed 86. Oh, but here's Vice News. Assad, despite overwhelming evidence, says reports of chemical attacks in Syria are fabricated. That's Vice News. Vice News turned into a neoliberal bullshit pro-war rag.
So Assad says reports of a chemical attack are fabricated. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother explaining what I would say about that. But it's just like him saying that he did not say the attacks didn't happen. It's like your memory of this might be different, Jimmy. Because again, your brain, it's very powerful. It does all sorts of incredible things every day. But it's very obvious if you look over a timeline of Jimmy Dore clips talking about the Syrian gas attacks, that at different points he is willing to entertain the possibility the attacks didn't happen, willing to accept the attacks happened, but maybe they weren't chemicals, and then willing to accept that the chemical attacks happened, but they were al-Nusra, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, right? And it's just about whichever thing he sees like people concretely accept is absolutely true. And then he updates not only what he's saying about it, but what he believes he's always believed about it. It's just another case of his incredibly powerful and brilliant mind.
By the way, while Secretary of State John Kerry said Monday that it was undeniable a chemical weapons attack had occurred and that it was carried out by the Syrian military. Here's the next. Oh, now Mattis admits
now, see, to be clear, actually a bit more of it's coming back to me right now. I'm just kind of curious if I can get Jimmy Dore gas canister placed helicopter, because the specific nature of the claim that the attacks didn't happen at all was people, Jimmy Dore, the conspiracy left, what's it called, Gray Zone, this whole milieu, like posturing over the possibility that the huge canister that had been dropped in and all the gas come out of had been placed there after the fact in the rubble of a building with the ceiling caved in as if a giant canister came through the roof. So they weren't simply denying like the nature of there being like pictures of the gas attack, pictures of the aftermath of the gas attack, children crying and like blood coming out of their eyes, this kind of horror. The big gas canister in the rubble of a destroyed house, this kind of stuff. They weren't just like black and white denying that, but they were saying like, sure, there's a picture of that canister they placed there. Anyway. Wow, we got quite off it, huh? We got quite far off the...
There was no evidence Assad used poison gas on his people. So just like we've said all along, his people. So just like we've said all along, Just like I said on the Young Turks in 2013, the first time Barack Obama wanted to bomb Syria. Just like I said, that's on his people. So just like we've said all along, just like poison gas on his people. So just like
Finally synced it up. Perfect.
we've said all along, just like I said on the Young Turks in 2013, the first time Barack Obama wanted to bomb Syria. They ended up bombing Syria anyway. They dropped so many bombs on Syria, they ran out of bombs. And so now, this is from the February 8th, Newsweek. Mattis admits there was no evidence Assad used poison gas on his people.
Well, what's frustrating, just since you mentioned the date right away, what's frustrating here is that just enough time has passed that nobody's going to have to apologize.
Yeah, and nobody remembers that Trump bombed people and Barack Obama bombed people, and they all said it was because of gas attacks in Syria.
Mm-hmm.
And Barack Obama actually made the mistake of asking the Congress if they could bomb Syria. He thought they'd go along with them. And he's like, well, y'all put the... And they didn't. Turns out enough people said no.
What was that just then, Jimmy? What was that, Jimmy? What were you... What was that now?
And they didn't bomb Syria. He thought they'd go along with them. And he's like, well, y'all put the... And they didn't.
So true. So true. That is exactly what Obama sounds like, yeah.
Syria. He thought they'd go along with them. And he's like, well, y'all put the... And they didn't. Turns out enough...
Yeah, that's exactly what Obama sounds like. Jimmy. Jimmy Dawes. 50 horsepower brain. Good Lord.
He thought they'd go along with them. And he's like, well, y'all put the... And they didn't. Turns out enough people...
RFK is so right. Jimmy Dore does bring people laughter.
Said no.
Is the thing.
He's like, well, y'all put the... And they didn't. Turns out enough people said no. And then they just bombed him anyway. It's so funny. Enough people thought they'd go along with them. And he's like, well, y'all put the... And they didn't. Turns out enough people...
Well, he obviously, thinks about doing an Obama impression for, half a second, and he's like...
chokes himself halfway through it,
no, 50 horses will be able to outsmart Jimmy Dore. I'm so sorry, I meant to say 50 horse dewormer brain.
Said no. And then they just bombed him anyway. It's so funny. It's like the president, that Congress never declares war. The president just goes and bombs places. That's what's happening. So, there's a little bit to this article. Lost in the hyper-politicized hullabaloo surrounding the Nunez Memorandum and the Steele dossier was the striking statement by Secretary of Defense James Mattis that the U.S. has no evidence that Syrian government used the banned nerve agent sarin against its own people. They do bury the leads a lot. Remember we did a show where we did a segment where the former CIA deputy director admitted that there is no evidence of Trump collusion with Russia and hacking the election, and that there never will be. Mm-hmm. He said that in an interview. The headline of that interview was Russia's effing us over still.
Mm-hmm.
The headline of that issue was we got to be afraid of Russia. Except he says in it, there's never going to. That's the head. Again, that's also a buried headline. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't until 6 paragraphs deep.
Yes.
Because for the first 5 paragraphs, I was like, why the fuck did Jimmy send this to me? And then by paragraphs, I was like, oh, snap. That's why we're going to talk about this.
Mattis offered no temporal qualifications, which means that both the 2017 event at Khan Shaykhun and the 2013 tragedy in Ghouta are unsolved cases in the eyes of the Defense Department and Defense Intelligence, the DIA. But John Kerry was certain. Secretary of State said it's certain. Just like George Bush said they have.
What did this come out of? This was the... Wikipedia thing, right. Dorr cited an op-ed which quoted U.S. Secretary of Defense Jim Mattis out of context as saying that he did not have evidence that the nerve agent sarin was used in Syria. Mattis, speaking in a press conference in February 2018, had been referring to recent reports when he said he did not have evidence of sarin use, adding that Assad's government had been caught using sarin during the Obama administration and had used it again during our administration. Cool. Cool. How is he taking him out of context, though? I need the op-ed that he's actually... It's a Newsweek one. I'm not digging into all this now. I'm too sleepy.
So that's what happens with Wikipedia. They make you sound like a conspiracy theorist if they want to discredit you if you tell the truth about our foreign policy. That's what I do on this show. So my Wikipedia page looks like I'm a maniac. Why? Because the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, and MI6 all edit that. That's why. Try to tell a regular person that the CIA gives a shit about Jimmy Dore's Wikipedia page without them looking at you like you're crazy. But here it is, and we all know it's true.
No, man. You should lead in with, like, way more normal sounding things to say, like, hey, have you ever heard of horse dewormer? It really helps with when you have COVID.
Go to my Wikipedia.
Or just bond over, like, celebrity impressions or something.
Wikipedia page. Look what they say. And look, the things they say I got wrong, I got right.
Like, here's my, for example, like, off the top of my head, like Obama. Like, what's he like? He's all like, you know what I mean? That's so Obama.
I never said the things they said about Seth Rich. All I did was cover the Seth Rich story. And anybody who covered the Seth Rich story,
It's always so funny to watch these along, just disprove Jimmy Dore's lies as he goes, and then watch him repeat the same lies ad nauseum, right? And it's like, by the second or third time, you know, that he's saying, I never said Seth, I just covered the story. And it's like, well, we've had a look at what Wikipedia says. Wikipedia says that you said there were still questions and lots of red flags and that people should carry on questioning it. And then we watched a clip that Wikipedia cited as the source where you said exactly precisely all those things. And then we go back to your video and you're saying, yeah, I never said any of that stuff. I just covered the story.
Slandered it as a conspiracy theorist. Why? Because there's something to the Seth Rich story, which is why the FBI slandered anybody, and they had their hacks in the media, like Dave.
The perfect place to like. He just brings it perfectly around. He's just like, they shouldn't be saying that I said that Seth Rich was murdered because the reason that they're saying that I said that is because he was, though.
Weigel at the Jeff Bezos Washington Post slander anybody who asked a question about Seth Rich. Why? Because the FBI wants to bury that story because their fingerprints are all over it, and they won't even release Seth Rich's computer for 65 years. The computer they denied they had for years. They denied they had it. All of a sudden they have it, but they're not going to release the contents of that for 65 years. So that's what...
I'll be real with Jimmy. That was a lot of porn on that.
Wikipedia does. Wikipedia is right from the people who are slandering truth tellers. And that's why you can't trust Wikipedia. Anything you want to say about this? We got our guests coming in.
Well, just really briefly, I just want to say that everybody's got to just understand.
Whoa! Whoa! Sorry, just like the shock reveal of Craig Pasta Jodula. What the fuck? We just like... was he here any other point in the video? He wasn't here at any other point in the video. I didn't know Jimmy had a guest until right now when he's just like, oh, we got someone else coming in a second. Do you want to say anything about this?
So that's what Wikipedia does. Wikipedia is right from the people who are slandering truth tellers. And that's why you can't trust Wikipedia. Anything you want to say about this? We got our guests coming in.
Well, just really briefly, I just want to say that everybody's got to just understand that wherever the people go, that's where...
Jimmy really does make me laugh. I actually can't argue with that at all. He just brings laughter to my life in such an extreme way. Everyone, if you're enjoying the stream, please consider paying for the stream. You can subscribe or cheer or donate directly using command tip. I'd really appreciate if you would consider tipping, helping with my cost of living, my bills, and so on and so forth. That would be really cool. But you can also subscribe. You can subscribe with Prime. If you have a Prime account, you can link it to your Twitch account. You give me a subscription, which gives me real money, but you don't pay anything. It's very neat. You can also cheer. Like I say, you can tip. Yeah, because I'm doing my job right now, and I'm real sleepy, and I'm gonna wrap up soon. But it's nice when I get paid for doing my job.
The deep state and the ruling class will go. You think about what Vice once was. You think about what Al Jazeera once was. You think about what The Intercept once was. But no matter what.
Anyway, all of this was because I was trying to go to see if there was more of his RFK interview. We need to stop poisoning ourselves. RFK Jr. Whoa. Dems walk out on video about gender-affirming surgery. Oh, okay. Gee, I did want to see the RFK thing, but I kind of want to know about Jimmy Dore hating trans people, because of course he does. Oh, jeez.
Surgically remove your breasts, even, no matter how old you are. And so they want to have a talk about this in Congress, right? And the Democrats don't even want to have the talk. In fact, they don't even want to hear a video from someone who specializes in performing these surgeries. So they were going to play this in the congressional hearing, a video of a guy talking about a guy who does this at the University of Oregon for a living. He's a doctor. He does gender-affirming surgeries on minors, and he's talking about it.
He does gender-affirming surgeries on minors? Damn, Grandpa, that's so crazy. Anyway, did you take your medication today? Have you eaten and have you slept? Did you sleep good last night, Grandpa? Because it feels like maybe you're saying things that are just categorically unfucking true, you lying fascist fuck. You scumbag, you piece of shit, actively participating in genocide against people like me by perpetuating lies that you know are fucking lies, you lower than pond scum fucking loser, Jimmy. This is disgusting. It didn't take long to get the gist of what he's doing here. It's kind of amazing how people who from a variety of different positions, including the conspiracy left, can just jump right into the middle of just like right on side with modern day fascism when they see that it's picking on a tiny minority of people who are experiencing a second puberty, who are or a first in some cases, when they're literally children, who are like 1% of the population, just like a tiny and extremely disenfranchised part of the population that cheap hack fucks like Jimmy Dore see that they can gain some capital, some advantage, some benefit from bullying, and then they show their real nature. Just pretty instantaneously is that every single one of them is a cheap, pathetic, sad little bully who knows that they can get just a smidge more power, audience, and therefore money by deciding to just bully a tiny, extremely disenfranchised, massively disproportionately homeless, in poverty, experiencing abuse, discrimination, sexual assault, minority. They just decide, I could probably get some more viewers by appealing to the transphobes. I'll talk about how they want to cut your breasts off. I'll talk about how they're performing surgeries on minors because I'm Jimmy Dore, a spineless fucking pond scum piece of shit who doesn't give the slightest flying fuck about people's safety or, the truth or liberation. That's why I told my audience to eat a horse dewormer to cure COVID because I fucking I just saw an audience in it. I saw a niche in it. I saw a market in it. I saw an opportunity to make fucking money. And that's why I say the things I say. Anyway, any fucking way, surgery's on minors. Fuck you, Jimmy. All right, I'm good. I'm good, everyone. I'm okay. I'm fine and dandy and good, and I simply wish that Jimmy Dore, if he thinks ivermectin would work, would take some, and maybe it would cure whatever the fuck is wrong with him. Maybe take as much as possible.
You would think the Democrats would want to hear from one of these people. Not only do they not want to hear from him, they don't want the video to be played in Congress, and when they do play it, all the Democrats get up and walk out. That's the same thing they did with ivermectin. So just don't. The same thing they did with...
Oh, fucking wow. He doesn't even need to make the comparison for me. His brain is simply slushy oatmeal. So I don't even need to... Sorry, wrong way around. I don't even need to make the comparison for him because he's making the comparison himself. He is this urgently desperate for us to remember that he promoted taking horse dewormer to cure COVID. Damn, Jimmy. Damn.
COVID, they're doing the same thing with this. And so let's watch what happened.
Ms. Kamek had asked unanimous consent for the committee to watch the video. There was an objection. I'm going to yield now.
Hey, Jimmy, you know any trans people? Like, hey, Jimmy, you know any trans people? Or are you just a gobshite? Like, just definitionally a gobshite. Like, do you know any trans people? Or are you doing this not knowing any trans people and participating in this thinking, oh, these are people I don't know, so if they experience horrifying conditions, if the resurgent wave of fascism, wipes these people out, destroys their communities, kicks them out of their homes, makes it impossible for them to hold employment, eradicates them as a sacrificial lamb to gain political leverage, that just won't affect me because I just don't know any, and I'm just kind of chatting shit constantly like I have verbal diarrhea because I'm definitionally a gobshite. Is that what it is, Jimmy? Or do you know any, and they stopped talking to you because you started doing shit like this? And that's kind of the two possibilities I see there. I just find it so tremendously, uniquely cowardly for someone like Jimmy Dore to start saying this kind of thing. Because he really tried to make out like his joining in on right-wing conspiracy narratives was because he had some extra belief in the truth. He was slipping through the cracks and showing where, like, no, sometimes the right wing is right about something, and it's like the liberal establishment don't want you to know because the liberals, the conservatives and the liberals are all part of one thing, and it's the establishment, and we have to support like real leftists to. Oh yeah, also they're doing surgeries on children. You should definitely just kill all the transgenders. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Yeah, I'm really sure about this one. Even surer than I am about there not being any gas attacks. I mean, there being attacks, but them not being gas. I mean, there being gas attacks, but them not being Assad. Really sure about this one.
To Mr. Pallone for the purposes of his objection.
So here's the Democrat telling you why he's objecting to us even getting to see a video.
I looked at the video, but I insist on my objection because I have to be honest, I don't even understand what the person is saying. It's all, to me, it's just almost impossible for us to understand what he's saying and how it relates to what we're discussing here, even the authentication.
Cool. Sounds like they got a video of a Q conspiracy theorist rambling and ranting about utter gibberish. Quite analogous to if you were approached in real life by Jimmy Dore and he tried to make friends with you by talking about how the CIA edits his Wikipedia page, and that's what the video is, and they didn't want to enter it into the congressional record, so they're dismissing it. And now Grandpa Simpson here is way past his bedtime, so is just furious that they won't play the rambling, ranting nonsense. So he's making his own rambling, ranting nonsense. How nice.
Is difficult, so I insist on the objection, Madam Chair.
So that's because I don't understand anything. You don't get an opportunity to understand it because I'm dumb. So
hey, Jimmy, do you know any trans people? Have you talked to any trans people about this? Do you understand it? Do you understand it having talked to any trans people, Jimmy? Or do you just not believe trans people exist whatsoever? Do you know any gay people? Do you know any gay people and you've asked them what they think about trans people? Or do you just like the entire LGBT community to you is just off limits, just not, they have no place in the kind of socialism you want to build? Are you that much of a scumfuck loser?
You don't get to hear anything. That's exactly what he just said. And that's considered a reasonable argument if you're a Democrat for censorship. So here's the video. So here's the video. I'm going to play it. It's very short.
Instead of a unanimous consent, the committee,
Fucking loser.
I'm going to ask then that the committee vote as to whether or not to see the video. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
So they play the video.
We will watch the video.
Oh, tremendous.
Okay.
See all the Democrats getting up and leaving? I don't know if you noticed, but they were all getting up and they're all walking out right now. Because that's the height of intellectualism.
So 80% or so of my practice is gender affirming surgery. So I do facial, chest surgery, and genital surgery. But the majority of my...
He also just said in the objection we can't actually corroborate that this is anyone, any of the things that they're saying about what they do, we can't actually verify any of it's true.
Practice and sort of where my passion lies is really genital surgery cases. So I do a lot of vaginoplasty and a lot of phalloplasty. I would just say they're expanding in either direction. So yeah, a lot of adolescents presenting for surgical intervention, but also a lot of people that are in their 70s sometimes coming in for genital surgery, and then everything in between. But the adolescents for sure present some unique challenges. Obviously, there's great evidence supporting pubertal suppression for a whole variety of benefits. But the one thing that is very new is genital surgery in someone that has underwent pubertal suppression. Not so much an issue in someone with assigned female at birth anatomy that undergoes a phalloplasty, because we're creating something with
Okay, so the Democrats just didn't understand it because they don't understand any of these terms, and this is just a doctor talking. And Jimmy doesn't understand it because this is a doctor talking. And so obviously completely anathema to him. But just for the record of this video, of this stream that I'm doing right now, what he's describing is that there is an increase in the overall number of trans people seeking medical interventions for transition, and that there are adolescents who then go through puberty suppression because although trans kids want to just be on HRT, cis people have met them halfway with the infuriating puberty blockers, which trans people, trans kids, that's not even what they want. Cis people, they're really mad that it's happening, even though it's their fucking idea. Anyway, and then he's talking about surgery for people who underwent puberty suppression. In other words, people who are no longer minors but have already gone through a course of puberty blockers and reached the age of majority where they can have elective surgeries like this.
Free tissue transfer, or FLAP anyway, but a much bigger issue for an individual that's undergoing a penile inversion vaginoplasty. Because we use all of that tissue to basically create vulva as well as line the internal vaginal canal. And as a specialty...
What's going through his mind when he's just staring into the camera here like he's won? Right? He's made this, he thinks he's showing you the ace up his sleeve. Leon DeBauer, thank you so much for tipping 100 pounds and saying, hey, missing most of the stream. I'll catch it in the VOD. Awesome new vid, Sophie. Thank you so much. I'm glad you loved the vid. What is Jimmy fucking thinking when he's just staring into the camera, not understanding a single word being said? Because again, his brain is just fucking oatmeal, right? Is it just the clapping monkey, right? What the fuck is it?
Those of us that do a fairly high volume of genital gender affirming surgery, we've maybe done a handful of pubertally suppressed adolescents as a field, and no one's published on it yet. OHSU we're just putting our first series together as we're kind of learning and figuring out what works. But it's really changing things because you don't have enough tissue to line the vaginal canal. So you either have to take a skin graft or take skin from elsewhere or use some artificial product. The way that we're dealing with it is by using a robot. and we're basically performing intra-abdominal components of the surgery. So we're using peritoneum, which is the inner lining of the abdomen, to line most of the vaginal canal.
Oh, what does
What
Jimmy's
he
guest
said
have
was
to say? Oh,
that
wow.
There's no studies on what he's doing. No one has published yet on this.
Brett
And so
fucking
he's just making
Weinstein?
it up as they go along on children.
Okay, you know what? I was giving all this like just a little bit too much credibility whatsoever because I was trying to view Jimmy as still in any way meaningfully the conspiracy left, and he's just a right winger. And I know this is the thing we end up saying about like all of them. Like obviously Caleb Morphin is just a right winger, all of this kind of stuff. But like, fucking, he's got Brett Weinstein on as a guest. I don't need to carry on with this fucking shit. I'm done. I'm sleepy. I'm gonna go sleep. It's sleepy time. Tired myself out yelling at Jimmy Dore. What a scumbag. What a fucking scumbag. Jimmy, have you considered not being a massive fucking scumbag? Is what I'd personally like to know.
He'd be a lot less stressed out.
Yeah, you know, maybe he would have aged a bit better if he had just not been a huge scumbag. I've done some things to reduce my stress in the years between that old Jimmy Dore video and the new Jimmy Dore video. I'm literally younger, so you know, just try it out. Just try out a cheeky little estradiol valerate. Let's right into Bloodbraid Talk. I'm going to be back tomorrow with a little Q&A about my video after the video has premiered. It's going to be at 3 p.m. UK time. The Q&A is going to be for an hour. Bring your best Qs. I will bring my best As. We'll unite them in beautiful harmony. God, I am fucking sick of Jimmy Dore. Okay, if you're enjoying the stream, please consider paying for the stream. You can subscribe or share or donate directly using command tip. If in the meantime you would like to support my work, but you're not currently watching the stream, you can go to patreon.com/Sophie from Mars. I do Red Planet every Sunday, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. GMT, with Kira Chats, DJ Mule, and Conquest of Dread. This week we will just be me and Mule talking about organizing and mobilizing. I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you for hanging out with me. More and more energetic, less tired streams to come. Good night, everyone. Bye. Jimmy fucking Dore.